Hey guys, welcome to the close. Couple hours left in a ugly trading session. Unfortunately, back to the downside we go in a very big way. It's been red since the word go this morning, and we've given all of the gains back from yesterday afternoon post-Fed rally that we saw right back down to basically where we were to start the week. I was just noting all U.S. indexes, all three major U.S. indexes still positive on the week, if you can believe that, after today. But we're basically right back to where we started on Monday. Here we go. Look at how things stand at this point. Yeah, 5%. Wow. For the NASDAQ, 3+ for both the S&P and the Dow. It's not pretty. TSX here in Toronto, 2.3, 3 for Brazil as well. Remember, crude oil was up almost 3% at one point. We've given all of that back, back to flat now. Yeah, big sell-off for both Bitcoin and Ethereum. About lunchtime this afternoon, I guess it was, started to really get going to the downside. It's been a long time since we've seen a board that glowing red. It's it's pretty ugly right across the entire thing. The only one standing out here basically either reported better than expected earnings last night, or for whatever reason have positive news. I speak of Twitter, they're up almost 3%. Booking.com, EPAM, OCGN, ALB, all earnings names. Every other stock basically to the downside this afternoon. Banks still leading. Tech, just getting crushed today. Hardware equipment makers, semiconductors, and software makers all lower. Consumer discretionary stocks under pressure big time outside of Booking.com. Look at like Norwegian's down 6% today. Expedia reported earlier this week 5.5%. It's not pretty. There's Etsy, almost 17%. To the downside for Etsy off their report last night. So, I mean, we don't need to spend too much time on that, because you get the point. It's one of those days. We'll go back over a few things to kick things off. If you're joining us for the first time in the afternoon, welcome. First of all, come back, join us every day. We go through what we were talking about in the pre-market a little to kick things off, kind of revisit some opportunities that were there at the open this morning. How'd you do? We have to decide what we can do better tomorrow and how to improve going forward. So let's jump right into a bit of a review here. Neil is going to lead us off with a look at one of his trades from this morning.
Oh, we're going to look at Tesla today, and I'm going to do things a little bit differently here, because a lot of times you'll talk about that first initial idea. Today, pop and fade off of some weakness. You had Elon Musk with the story out that he would be stepping in as an interim CEO for Twitter when the deal closes. Now, obviously, he's dividing his time. If he's dividing his time, bit of a negative here for Tesla. So, when I looked at the actual Tesla trade, I was looking for the old pop and fade, fail off 950, and that was our initial look. However, it turned into something else, and it's much more interesting to talk about that. So I want to first set the stage for what we saw. Bit of an event when the Fed raised 50 basis points. So we went up and then down, and I'm highlighting, and this is only a 5 minutes, so we're only looking at what happened yesterday with the Fed. We made this bottom here. It's called the Fed bottom. Last time we had the first hike, we talked about the range that got made, had a great trade off of that in the afternoon. This time it was about that low that we're going to talk about here. Bounces off that low, and this is the gap up. So we do take the short position, and I don't hang on to it long enough. Held on to Twilio, not Tesla, and we can see what happens. Fine, okay, great. It went 945 into 930, solid trade. But then we start screaming to the downside, and this is where I was saying, look out for those Fed bottoms. If you're trying to pick a bottom, sit it out, man. Hold your shorts if you can. If you ain't got them, the only bottom I care about is where liquidity came in. When there's a liquidity event where you get a bit of a drop to the downside because the bid gets pulled, where do the buyers step in, and are they going to do it again? And to do one more, we had a few viewers pointing this one out, and I usually watch UVXY. Have a quick look at what volatility is doing. You need to care what is happening with volatility. So I had UVXY up, and there was no way I wanted to get a trade, or at least I shouldn't have ever had a trade, unless we were making a slowdown or a turn. So what I also highlighted was on UVXY, and I'm only really showing you today, but these two lines, this is the Fed top from the afternoon on UVXY after the release. And this was the high of the day yesterday. You've got a 16 to about 1635 range there. So that's what we're looking for as a possible failure point to try and pick up a long. Now, I've got the line drawn where you had that post-Fed bottom, and I did. This long in here, the one that didn't work in front of that line, that was without a curl in UVXY. The difference here is when we start failing at this level to get below that bottom on Tesla, sorry, you've got over here in UVXY this little wick into, and it's hard to see, it's the only red candle, the wick into the high, and that little reversal. And that's all it took. That being said, if you watch the live show, you know that something else happened. There was one other thing that happened at this bottom, which 100% helped this trade. As it started to make this consolidation at the bottom, and we got the turn on volatility, somebody decided to jam the offer for 60,000 shares on Tesla, displayed on Tesla beneath 895. They got filled in a heartbeat the second it was on level 1, and then this happened. A lot of times I'd be thinking about, okay, can it get back into VWAP on this trade? Maybe that's going to be the case. But the circumstances of the way it just shot up in a liquidity vacuum after that person got filled in a down market, I'm going to take the money and run. That was an absolute gift. You got the move. And on top of that, we also didn't have follow through in the pullback in UVXY. So those two things together, you get in, you get out. Sure, it was a good short, but the long was much more interesting and informative. Be so patient every day. Get better, get better, get better. If you're trying to catch a bottom, make sure you got a good level. Make sure you have a good indicator. Make sure you're getting the right side of the movement perfectly timed, and make sure you have an out. All these things came into play with the help from some Yahoo who decided to throw $52 million worth of an order selling at the bottom on Tesla. Hey, guess what? Not too bad now.
Yeah, unbelievable move for Tesla to the downside this morning. There was also news on that, or not on Tesla, but on Twitter regarding Elon, once again, that we were discussing in the pre-market. Guys, if you are looking for an absolutely free resource every single day, join us, first of all, at 8:30 when we come on in the pre-market, and then grab that, which is absolutely free. All you need is your email address, and you can have the watch list for free. Coming up, what a day we've had so far, but coming up in about a half an hour or so, we're very happy to have Katie Stockton, Fairlead Strategies co-founder, and she's a chartered market technician. I mean, on a day when technical levels are getting absolutely blown out of the water, it's going to be great to have Katie on coming up at about 2:45 to get her take on, you know, what is next, what we need to look for as far as what should hold and what could hold as far as the market is concerned. So stick around for Katie Stockton coming up in about half an hour. Let's talk about the market here to kick things off, guys, because yeah, that happened. We went up yesterday. Now we're all the way back down. I went out to a higher time frame. This is a 5-minute chart, but it shows the entire week. And the reason I did this is very simple. The line you see on this chart is Monday's open. So yeah, as I said, to kick things off there, we're actually still positive on the week, but we came down to the number today and bounced off Monday's open. So important levels being tested right across the board today, guys, for the overall market.
I mean, that's why we say zoom out, right? I mean, at some point you got to say, and you got to sort of like slow down. I actually went in there and bought, as the show we ended, I bought some Netflix, I bought some Google, some Apple, and one more name. I have to remember what it is. I'll get it for you. But yeah, I went there and did a little bit of buying here today. Look, I think the market obviously continues to get killed, down 5%. It's been a bad day here. But what you have to always remember, to be honest with you, is like the market's going to open up again tomorrow. There's going to be a lot of names that are going to continue to get beat down here. But if you're a long-term investor at certain points, and like you said, we'll have some guests on. We'll figure out some more macro situations coming out here. But at some point, some of these names have gotten hit a little bit, right? And I think when you have Shopify that's gotten hit the way it has today, and Shopify is a little different. I don't want to be buying that one on any dips, but there's high quality companies like the Apples of the world that I feel, like Google, like Softy, that I think you got to go in there and start dip buying a little bit. So, you know what? I had a feeling today, and I wrote it down on the sticky note, that today would be a sell day, a fade day. Did I think we'd give it all back? No. Did I think we'd be down 5%? No. But is it a surprise? No as well. So, I mean, when you're trading volatile markets, and we're going to talk about this in a minute. We're going to do a little segment on bear market trading and things like that. But honestly, it's like just when the things are going well, things can just go equally as bad. And I mean, you got to find the right companies. Don't go like all in, things like that. start to dollar cost average. I said that yesterday. Today we get a monster move down. I think it's a good opportunity to do that and just stay focused, right? Understand where the moves are coming from. The Qs, which Neil has a long chart up here. You can go over that. But it's like, come on, man. We've already been, the NASDAQ was up 20-something% last year alone. So this year for us to be down 23%, it's giving it all back, but it's only 1 year. If you think about a flush, man, the S&P could go to 3750 is where I think the bottom could eventually be put in. So I feel like there's a lot more room to go to the downside as well as the upside. So this is a bear market. Welcome to it, and trade accordingly.
Yeah, it was one of the things we mentioned this morning was how this was different from the first rate hike, because I'll show you the circumstances. I got the 15-minute up with the Qs. It's just the easiest way to demonstrate it. You had made a bottom, and this is, we keep talking about the March bottom. You made the March bottom going into the Fed rate decision, and then you had the big monster move into the upside. You then were able to gap above. So what essentially the biggest difference, if you look at the week before, you had these highs, right? You made the hard bottom. You're then able to make a gap and then hold above that range post-Fed. And I think that's the key thing after the announcement. Like, you got the big reversal, shot to the upside, and then retest previous resistance, and then off to the races. And what was so different about what we saw yesterday, I guess it's not a huge difference, but it's one that ended up mattering, is you had the break, and we had a huge run, and it went into but did not break the previous resistance level, which had been a hard top, about the 330 on the NQ, the Qs if you look at it, and then we come in today consolidating below it. So if you wonder why there were pop and fade style ideas, because if a resistance level is what you're looking at, well, some of these things were set up. It's like, okay, well, it's a rollover if it can't break it, and it's a breakout if it does break it. And if it doesn't break it, it's a short. And that's what ended up happening today. So it's kind of, we're so busy this morning, Sean, that we didn't make the change.
I'm trying to make it live on the show.
We were holding the shorts all morning long, that we actually totally forgot that the bear was sitting, the bull was sitting right next to us.
He's got to go bear.
We didn't break out, and that's
the market's only down 5.25%, so I think we got to go bearish on this one.
If people ask us what the halt bands are, then we probably should put the bear up.
Yeah, that's right, man. We have to get close to those halt bands. You're only now 1.5% away from 7, but there it is. It's bear. And yeah, I've made actually my biggest trade was on the long. We'll get to that when we talk about chips in a second here, Brendo.
All right, let's move along to try and find some sort of opportunities here in this market at this point as we start to, guys, roll back over and head back to the downside on the overall market. But what a day it's been after what a day yesterday was in general. So let's go on. Talking a little bit about AMD, NVIDIA, Intel. They tried, at least. Let's see how the day ends, but they tried to find some support.
Yeah, I mean, that's what, look, to me, this chip game is not rocket science. I mean, we talked about it earlier right here. We wanted AMD. I put this out at 8:30 or 8 o'clock today, and we wanted AMD. We wanted to fade that 100 mark. We were hoping it got to 99.50. We felt like today was a fade day and that we were going to go to the downside. So all these are shorts we're talking about here, besides Datadog. And look what we did to AMD. We were going back and forth about the trade of the day, but look at this. AMD short early, 98.50. Ding, 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 ding. Best cash out there, 96.50. That's $2. Then this is the hero trade that I put on, and my biggest trade of the day is right here. We loved this long on AMD when we put it on down here at 93. So it came all the way down from 99 then down to 93, where we finally put on the long. Basically, right here, when it started to touch and bounce off of VWAP right here, we talked about this on Prad's show. When we went long down here, let it go all the way up. When it started to hit VWAP right there and then bouncing back down, that's where we got pretty much out of all of our shares. Little bit out there, then the last piece before it ripped all the way to the upside and then came all the way back down, possibly looking to reload again. But there's AMD, and sometimes you got to zoom out, but I mean, there's the 93. It was a scary position to put on because I didn't really have an out other than 93, so I was going to give it about 50 cents worth of downside moves because that AMD bottom that we really like is this 92 right here. So we'll see if that can come into play now, but looks like we might get another reload opportunity. AMD was my number one stock today. huge opportunity for me on that name, and we absolutely took advantage of it. So short early, like we called, and then we waited very, look, no longs all the way down. That's not like me. No longs all the way down. We waited for a key spot. We started the build at 93.50. We got some 93.25s, then back-to-back jacks down here at 93, and then boom. But why did we go long? It told us right there that might have been a bottom. So, hey, gave us a reason. We took the long, and there it is, AMD. Don't know if we'll do it again. We're like, I'm double right now today what I lost yesterday. So if you think about that, you know, that's how we're doing it. So happy with today's performance. We'll be putting on more trades, but right now only one short is eBay. I love the chip names today.
Yeah, and look, Intel had a level as well. I did wait around for it, and we've probably talked about $45. Look, everything's down today, so it's not like it's all about, relatively speaking, how far things are down, I suppose. Like you're splitting hairs. I think I had 3 names on my quote board, and 2 of them were small caps that were in the green today. I forget who the other one might have. Oh, the other one was Twitter, and that was on the Elon Musk thing, and that's a deal. So who cares? That 45, it came in early in the morning. I took 1 trade off it for a bounce. And now we're retesting it. Like you were saying on AMD, could be a reload. Yeah, we're now actually testing that 45, and you wait for the significant level. We're here now, but you got to give it up if it goes. And I'm going to go right back to what volatility is doing here and say we're actually pulling back at least a little bit off the highs on UVXY, which, you know, that gives you a little bit of cover just in case you want that extra little bit of juice. So we're now below 45.10, so we're in the target range for Intel. That's a level I like, so it's a level I'll try. But there's no stubbornness. You know, with the longs today, if you don't have an out and adhere to it, you've basically been getting burned. And, you know, that's the best thing you can do is not lose big, I guess is the first thing to think about. And so if you're thinking about a long on a day like today, just don't get absolutely destroyed. Sean mentioned the halt band. For the NASDAQ, or sorry, the halt bands. So the overall futures, and I guess we should probably explain this, each of the futures markets, the NASDAQ and the ES, if they hit a certain percentage down, I think it's 7% is the first band, they will actually halt the futures market, like a circuit breaker like you'd have on the stocks. Now the NASDAQ is at 5%, and we're only bringing this up because once you hit 5%, you're at least thinking about it. It's very rare. The last time we saw it was in the middle of the pandemic, and before that, I think it was overnight during an election. And outside of that, I don't think I've ever seen it before. I think it's just those 2 times.
I don't even remember what it looked like during the pandemic, to be honest with you. So,
I remember now because Prad was telling the story.
Was it 5 minutes?
It was in the morning. It was right at the open, and now I remember that because we were sitting there alive,
right? And
the market was again individual stocks that were open, but the market was essentially halted. It was crazy. I doubt it happens. These kind of things are pretty rare, but just putting it out there.
Yeah, I don't want to, I mean, as Valeria's favorite artist says, never say never. There, if you know who that was, put that in the chat there. You will score free points. But yeah, I don't know. Anything could happen right now.
It's a James Bond
we're
song.
Dug into, yep, exactly. We are dug into a few longs here, but nothing too crazy. So yeah, I don't know, Brendo. You think we halt today?
I don't see it. I mean, I was just saying to Randy, guys, I remember sitting here during COVID when it first started, you know, and the market opened at 9:30 down 15%. And we sat here for 15 minutes because the entire market was halted and had to talk about something to fill the time. But it was a crazy time. But yeah, I mean, worth noting, it's amazing after what happened yesterday that we're now sitting here today talking about, you know, if the whole entire market would be halted. But anyways, let's go to big tech because it's not been a good day right across the board. Apple right now trying to bounce, guys. But I mean, no surprise, the NASDAQ down 5+, Apple down 5+. It's been a while.
I mean,
yeah,
we traded Apple to the short side again today, man. I mean, it's just one of those things where and this is the thing about trading these markets, right? Is that like yesterday during the Fed, I was still thinking that move was way too big. Obviously, like I said, we're double what our net today as we were yesterday. But the short only came in today. Yesterday, you had to fight. Like, this is Apple yesterday. I was actually long down here 160, but you had to fight this whole move to the upside. And then look at today. Like, it just cratered all the way to the downside. And there's the short. As soon as 9:30 hit, man, we went short on Apple, 164. I mean, what's Apple at right now? 157. So it just came all the way down. We're not that smart there. We took about $1 on that move, and then we let it drop all the way down before finally covering for $4. So we go mamma mia on that one as we covered for $4 on Apple. Now you're starting to see that, hey, maybe that wasn't enough. We tried a long there, got in and out quickly, and then now it's dropping down to this 156 again. For some reason, I'm thinking like this 156, it's not. I was going to say that rings a bell, but I don't know why. It doesn't seem like it's that important. I guess it was this 154 that we're looking at there for Apple. But again, the mighty go up, the mighty come down here. Apple, big tech failing. Facebook, we lost on it early. We made it all back. We're now green on Facebook here. Fought some longs. Look at these longs down here. And I think Prad said it. Neil might have said it as well. And I think I did it. I mean, probably did. And that is that you just got to be patient. You got to wait for your levels. When Facebook came down, it already showed us that it wanted to hold 208, then 207. So those are some of the longs that we had on board. So we're talking here about big tech, no bounce. Yeah, there's no bounce. But at the same time, like some of these stocks have already bounced. This is Facebook. Like they got hit. Obviously to the downside, Facebook was a $350 name. Downside there to 190, bounces to 250, 240, gets hit again. Earnings come, now upside. Now maybe we retrace back down to 190, 180. So, I mean, you don't want to check your investment accounts here, or if you are checking them, you may want to lighten up on some of the longs because there really is no relief in a lot of these rallies. They go up for 1 day, maybe 2 days, then just get hit down. And today's a perfect example, down 5%, even though we were only up 3% yesterday. And the king of the castle there, Apple, leading the way.
Yeah, and by the way, the 156, it was a thing because if you go back to, it was Tuesday. When you had the gap up, you had the gap up on Monday. So you had the bottom made on Monday, and then you had Tuesday that was the higher low at 56, and it was the higher low the previous week. So it was never the bottom, but 156 was twice a significant higher low on Apple. We showed you guys the cues already about the difference in the move, so you can mark that 330 way, and it's just if we don't get through that in the cues. And the subsequent levels in something like an Apple would be that 165 to 166 area. You get back above that, and that's when you start feeling good about these things. And it's never the end of the world to either wait for some support to come in, a good level of support, or for us to start breaking back out. But have a stop if you get the longs. I mean, I got into Intel. If it goes through 45, like there's just no way. Like I'm not holding through any of my stops today. Thankfully the longs ended up working out. And there's one I'll go to. It's not big tech. But it is worth mentioning, and for what it's worth, if Rivian gets to 30, Rivian had a pretty strong bounce that two stocks had, I would say, weird bounces that went more than the market was going at the time. One of them was AMD, which I actually understand
but
from a value.
I think they all did at that point.
Intel was barely, and I can understand AMD from a value standpoint. Rivian was a little bit different because Rivian made that bounce, and it's like on Monday the lockup expires, and it had a strong bounce off of 30. It ended up extending further than I would have anticipated. You'd think thered be some extra selling coming into it because of the lockup expiration on Monday. But for what it's worth, 30 had a buyer. Just throwing it out there because I will be on the bid in front of it this afternoon.
A little bit of context required here, guys. And I was just looking at Tesla as well. We got Neil's take to kick things off here today. But again, like that's Monday's open on Tesla. So we essentially just erased, 2 days worth of gains, but, still up on the week. We're still holding, very key levels for a lot of these, including Apple, including Tesla as well.
It's funny, you're talking about this. I'm just getting longer right now on some of these names the market is cracking once again to the downside here as we start to make more lows. Neil talked about Tesla as the trade of the day, but you're going to see right now some of these names coming in. Facebook coming in again. We've reloaded this right now, but yeah, we may take down this low right now on Facebook and on everything else, man. So watch out here. Yeah, the market is big time movement to the downside here and continues to go. So just watch out. We're going to get longer. There we are. We just got filled there long on Facebook. The drop is going to be breaking through 207. So get ready, man. That might happen sooner than you think, like right now.
Yeah, I'm sitting here looking for something to try to short. I mean, there goes Intel through that 45. So instead of it breaks 45, I'm out. I'm sitting in a small cap. It's like I'm only in this ICPT as far as positions go. And for whatever reason, it decides it wants to follow the market. But we were talking about Tesla. I just saw the VIX get back, or volatility get back to its high. The UVXY is at the top. Tesla's at the bottom, which is not going to load up, so I got to put up the black chart for you guys. Yeah, 45 on an Intel. Tesla, that's Rivian for some reason. That's Tesla. Tesla all the way back down to 875. Now, like I said, relative strength in Rivian, if it's not on the low of the day right now, it's relatively strong. That's one way to start thinking about it. And Rivian's not at the low of the day just yet, so you can put it in that bucket.
eBay, Etsy, and Wayfair at the bottom of the list because they're all getting crushed in the same direction today as well off of earnings. So, guys, Wayfair's down 25% today. 25% today. And is now back to pre-COVID levels. So this thing got to what, 370 was the high. We're back to $67 on Wayfair. So everything given back and then some from the pandemic.
And it's weird. Like Wayfair was one of the ones that was worth looking at. There was a big group of these names, right? Like it was eBay, Etsy, Wayfair, Twilio, and I'm missing one or two. And it's like, okay, well, pick one because they're all going to be good shorts today. And okay, so it turns out Wayfair, the one that I completely ignored. I took Twilio, but wow, Wayfair, you do not have what we need unless you're short. And then you have everything that you need. And these are the things here, when you see something like this, like look what happened when it took out this the weak bottom here, whether it's 75 or 77 or just that target area. You can see the abject failure, and then when it tries to reclaim the range. The good thing about a level like this is once it's broken, and when it's really good, you see it try to get back up into the channel and then fail that same way, and you can get into that secondary trade. Sometimes you miss out. Hey, you're not short at 84, or in the pre-market. Hey, you're not short at 80 at the open, but you can be short that 75 when you're looking at those big levels. But you'd have to put an alert out. Twilio, eBay were on the radar. Unfortunately, Wayfair was not, and you can see the damage that's being done. You just mentioned the daily there, obviously, Brendan. So I'm not gonna avert your eyes to look at it. And every single short that you didn't hold on to will look like this, where you could have held on. I did have a target on Twilio for 112, and then ended up not holding out for it. It has yet to take out that kind of a level. Like for Twilio, 110 is going to be huge, and then 106. Like it's at least standing on a few last legs. If you look at it on the daily chart, it looks even more perilous. Like if it gets below that 110, you've seen a flush before. But something like this starts rolling over or continues to roll over the cliff, and it's in a world of hurt if it gets past 110, let alone 108, and 30 cents away from that Rivian 30 that I'm determined to take, despite volatility hitting literally the high of the day as we speak.
Yeah, I mean, I just got out of Facebook, and then of course it starts to go back to the upside right now. So yeah, a little bit of a tricky trade, I feel like, trying to catch some of these bottoms and or tops here. But AMD is right near that $93 again. So if we're gonna try something, let's just try this and buy it, right? Oh, we just missed a buy. We just put, what? We missed, okay, we got long there again anyways. All right, so we just put a buy in here to try to test this bottom of the day here on AMD. I mean, realistically, yeah, 93 flat. So hey, if we're gonna break, we're gonna give this a shot one more time. And this is not gonna be like yesterday where it's like the market's tanking and I just keep trying to find bottoms. We're just gonna try one more time. We got out when Facebook broke, so that broke, and now we just watch it. Hopefully it goes back up to the upside for everybody if anybody's long. But right now there goes, damn it. We were long Facebook 207.50 and it just broke and we had to get out at, I think we got out at 207 flat about there. Yeah, actually we got a pretty good fill, 206.96. So that sucks, but there it is, man. We just punched longer in AMD. So, like we're always saying here, let's try to take some of this profit out if we ever catch any longs. But you're down here to 93 bucks again, and this is not the right day to play like, hey, let's try to pick bottoms, because we just talked about circuit breakers and things like that. But if stocks are going to be at key levels, then I think it's worth trying. I mean, that's part of being a trader, right? You're going to sit here and you're going to see us make mistakes and see us make, hopefully, some nice wins as well. So let's just see what's happening right now on some of these bottoms. And if they break, then we'll probably think about reversing short. But the board is ugly, man. Like Square down 12%, Roblox down 13%, Neo down 15%, Shopify all-time 52-week lows, down 12%, Peloton, whatever, down 10. They're all down 10. Rocket, Snap, all the cannabis names, whatever, man, they're all getting killed today. So yeah, I don't know if today's a good day to go long. I mean, when you look down and Microsoft's down 5, Apple's down 6, Facebook, AMD all down 6, 7, 8%. It's gonna be tough to catch some longs.
Oh, don't forget, Bitcoin is down at 36,000.
Yes.
Ether is down at 27,000 on the bid right now in Ether. And I said this morning, I said my quote board had nothing positive on it. Like, look at the string of, and this is just my quote board, by the way, what I'm looking at. But it's, the first page is all double digits, which pretty much never, the last time this happened, I saw double digits on my quote board, was actually during the height of the pandemic. In positive territory, a couple of small caps, SOUR, Twitter, Oxy, Sunrun, who blew out earnings, and oil. That's what's the upside. And Lyft, wait a minute, Lyft is up.
Apparently.
Lyft is positive today. Good for you, Lyft, but then again, you were down 25%. So with all things, grain of salt there for Lyft, but yeah, good for them. They're up 0.5%. So even one of the weakest names is somehow positive. I won't be going long Lyft, that's for darn sure. Rivian, fine, 30, but not Lyft. Not gonna happen.
No.
All right, I was going to mention GameStop here, guys. Speaking of cryptocurrencies, Fairlead Strategies, Katie Stockton coming up if you missed it in about 15 minutes or so. Fairlead Strategies has an entire crypto-focused note that they put out on a regular basis, so we'll get her take on what this move means today for Bitcoin. GameStop, talking about a crypto wallet. That was out a little, just as we came on, I guess, at 2 o'clock. So GameStop officially launching a crypto wallet. I mean, it doesn't matter. We're still down 9% at this point. Just saw it made a day low there as well. So, I mean, we were looking at AMC, GME over the past couple of days, yesterday specifically, on a decent move back higher. It's opposite day today.
Look, I mean, the days of like turning your name from Long Island Iced Tea over to Long Island Blockchain or whatever, you know, those days are done. So I don't think GameStop's going to get any love for talking about crypto. You know, if you released that news 3 years ago, the stock would be up 40%. But I mean, for right now, you know, the market continues to get beat down. You're mentioning all asset classes right now. Like, we should have Peter Schiff on. All asset classes right now getting absolutely destroyed. Bitcoin. I don't know if gold's up or not. I'm going to assume. Tongue in cheek. Yeah, let me just check gold right now. GLD. Let me just see, just so I can get an active quote here on gold. Should be up. Yeah, flat. Okay, so 0.5%. Look, if there's any environment where gold's supposed to work, I mean, it's supposed to be now. So hopefully gold will come into play. You can see what GLD's been doing. It still is down over the last little while. 186 down to 174. So gold trying to find a base down here. This is the ETF, right? So this is not actual gold, but 164 or so, a nice little base for them. But gold not working either. Bitcoin, crypto. We just mentioned GME. I mean, nothing is safe. And I mean, I think that's the one thing you have to understand here. As this market continues to tank in, GameStop was just at 200 back in April. Now you're down to 116, so cut in half in about a month and a bit. So yeah, not great news here for GameStop. Unfortunately, you know, if you are a GameStop holder, you'd like to hear some good news, but I guess maybe we wait for earnings again. I mean, just announcing that you have a crypto wallet doesn't get me super excited.
No, and the weird thing is, look, it's moved on. Like, where the momentum has been coming from for those types of parabolic moves, it's really moved on to an extent from some of those stocks to first or second day or first week low float IPOs, low float runners with a catalyst. That's where you're seeing the volume. That's why I'm going to bring up CYN, because you guys are talking about a big time break. Now look, when this came in the morning after the parabolic breakout, I was telling you guys 440, 450, that's first leg, and it made the short. But you know what? When it pulls back from a level like this and then never follows through, and it never followed through that $4 level, got to 390 and turn, then during power hours, sometimes that just means it's going to make the breakout, and it just did at 450. Next level's up, or week one at 485. I think you're more looking at this 5.25. That could be big for CYN. I get it. There's lots of stocks that are up. I was only talking about my quote board, of which I don't know why CYN wasn't on there. It's going to get added right now.
It has been an ugly start to the year, to say the least. The NASDAQ in bear market territory. The S&P on its way, it would appear anyways, to bear market territory, obviously down 20% from the highs, about 15% or so right now. Let's talk about, guys, how to protect ourselves in a bear market when it comes to longer term positions. What do we need to know about investing in bear market conditions?
So I just got a haircut, and a conversation I had with my barber when he was asking me about this, I said over and over again, probably at least 5 times, was do not get into position all at once. If you want to buy shares of whatever it might be, and I know he wants some EV names, and that's not what I'm going to bring up here on my chart, but I said do not get in all at once. right? There's something called dollar cost averaging. Find something you're willing to invest in over time, whether you put something in monthly at the first of the month, the 15th, the 20th, whatever you like, or put it in quarterly, or just 10% here, wait till after earnings, 20% there. This is what I'm talking about, because you're not going to pick the bottom, man. It's just not going to happen. So getting all at once doesn't make any sense. Now, for myself, look, I actually picked up some TD today, and I like TD as a bank, but I just wanted to show you have a name which had been so strong last year and to the beginning of the year, but is pulling back heavily with a lot of the financials. We just broke the 200 period moving average, which can be bearish. Now, this is a point after 2 rounds of earnings, after the Fed rate hike. That's when I'm actually now looking to jump in every single quarter and start evaluating, picking some things up. But do you want to be all in when you're breaking the 200? No. Just take 10% of your position, 20%. And then when it comes a couple of quarters from now or another month, take it again. Or when it hits a key price level, and understand when your time horizon is long enough, ultimately it's not the end of the world, right? Like these are shares that you want to necessarily hold on to for 5 years, 10 years, 20, 30 years, God willing. Then it's all about not picking the bottom and about being patient and easing your way in.
All right. Yeah, look, for me, bear market, just understand the market. Why is it a bear market? What's causing some of these moves to happen in the bear market, right? I mean, it might not be the right time to go in there and start investing in certain names that you may like, right? A big, huge mistake that happens all the time when we get into these kind of bear markets are people look for the beat down names. So they go in there and they call up a name, like a SoFi or something like that. And they say, oh my God, like watch a daily chart here on SoFi, where we've come from, where we're going. So SoFi was just $13 back in March. But look at this move all the way down, right? The problem is the bear market started like in November, December, when the Fed started, well, I mean, not technically the bear market, but the move down when we started talking about inflation from the Fed. And when that starts to happen, you don't need to be in these names. This is a name that's not making money. There's so many of these names. We talk about them all the time on the show. A Twilio, a SoFi, a BarkBox, any of these, Fisker, a Rivian, anything like that. They may be great companies that you like, but you don't have to go shopping in beat down names, because if you thought, oh my God, look, this name was $23, how could it be wrong when it's cut in half here at 12? We have to buy this. But now it's cut in half again right down here. There's so many names like this. Let's just go and talk about Rivian quickly here, because that's another name. You may like the EV space. Neil just had an example there about his barber, right? So a lot of people, it's an exciting space, and he's not wrong. I think getting into EVs is probably smart for an investment, right? But right now, understand the market that we're in. We are not rewarding. I mean, here's the Rivian chart. The market, I should say, is not rewarding companies that don't make money. When we're raising rates in an inflation environment, you have to stick with companies that physically make something, right? That don't have to, hold cash, because right now, if you had cash, it was worth 2%. Now it's worth 4%. In the market, right? Just because of the way the market is. The market goes up with interest rates. When interest rates go up, the market tends to go down on some of these names that aren't producing anything. So Rivian today, they need an investment. Well, now your investment's costing you more money, right? Just from time value of money. So what the mistake for me would be when you're looking at bear markets is, a lot of traders go into names that have been chopped in half, but there's still more. The ultimate bottom is zero. So if you're not investing in the right names, you're going to get chopped. So that's why I like Apple, the Microsoft, even healthcare names that are actually, physically doing something, have customers, have recurring revenues. Apple makes the iPhone, right? Procter & Gamble making products, Eli Lilly, some of the healthcare names, and some of the banks. You can stay away from high valuation tech names. The writing was on the wall for a lot of these names.
Which brings us to our last point, and that is you have to, if you're going to participate at these levels in these conditions, you have to have an out. Understand that you might just be a little bit early, and whether that is based on some sort of monetary amount, whether that's based on a percent amount, whether that's just simply a technical level that gets broken, guys, make sure you always have an out. The market changed this year. Hope that helps with investing in a bear market condition. All right, let's talk about what we can do here, guys, going forward as far as the rest of the day is concerned. Obviously, the market as we speak. Back to day lows. So what are we going to look at?
Well, I mean, as usual, I don't reverse on a key stock. And Intel breaks 45 and just it broke key support levels, and it should just be a reverse. When you see a big level go, let's just go ahead and take it next time and then not even look back. But just quickly, because you mentioned Eli Lilly, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember how good that chart looks. See, there's a name which is actually riding its 50 period. So a lot of strength there. And look, there's a few other healthcare names you could probably put in that bucket, but there's your relative strength, and it's coming on a key level. If this breaks to 50, then I want to sort of be sitting here saying, okay, well, be patient, maybe let it get into like a 275, allow it to come down again, then into the 200 period moving average. There's no need to jump in. If something like this starts to fall, and if we do get a really big pullback, believe me, like even the good healthcare names can pull back as well. Even they might be the first things you want to buy, but you can still be a little bit patient with them. But my whole point of, yesterday I kept taking pot shots at the short, not really hang on to anything, and then I take a pot shot at the long in front of a key level, and look at what happens on Intel, and of course this wick is going to make the chart all skewed. But when it breaks 45, it runs from 45, and you get a key level, and the market's going one direction, you reverse at that key level when it breaks, and that's just one thing I have to do. But CYN, watch out for that. Like, I'm not going to get away from the small caps because there's some games in town for those, and CYN looks like the most intriguing to me. It just made a bit of a pullback. Not quite at that 480 level, but it got to 475. So, if it bounces here off the previous high and can make another charge, yeah, I'll short off that top.
So you asked what to do. I mean, what not to do is to get out, I guess, of your Facebook. But we got out now. Of course, it's $1 in the money. But we bought AMD, right? I mean, it came down to some key levels. So I think as long as you're doing that, and then I'm trying to be, oh yeah, we have that. I mean, I can edit this, Wick. What is that, 2:15? Let me just talk as I edit this. But, as what you can do is exactly what Neil was saying there, and that is scalp out, right? So you don't, and we've talked about it, take some profits. Like, there's me buying 93s, and then there's an out at 40, there's an out at 50, and then there's an out at 54. That seems to be too close. But, just scalp out of some of these trades. Like, if I'm going to go long at 93.20, and my out's going to be 93 flat basically, then when it goes up 1-to-1, maybe that's good enough if you're long, right? Take some of the profits, and then don't be afraid to hold something. I mean, that's what gave me this monster long. We had a big position on, and it wound up going from 93 all the way here basically to 95. It went to 97, but we let it go to VWAP, it hit it and then failed, right? So the market still wants to go up. I mean, it's not like it only wants to go down. It's not. This is a live, active environment here. It can go both ways. Like, once you're down 5%, you're not going to make this back here. We're not going to go green, but it doesn't mean that there can't be some bounces. So, to answer your question, I think there's areas here that you want to look for, but you got to play key levels. But at the same time, also look for some key levels to go short. Like, I'm waiting for Apple to see if Apple can get up to this like 158. Now, it's still $1.50 away, but if we can get into some of these levels that we like here, then why not like turn on a short, right? I mean, like, we had the short early in Apple, 164. Nothing I can do. Hindsight, I'm out of it. So now we got to try to find some more shorts. So pick some key levels and let's wait for them. I mean, that's all we can really do, man. I mean, it's sit here, it's trade, it's try to be entertaining, educating to you guys. And at the same time, look at this eBay trade. I've held this all day. We were short 51.50. eBay was horrible. You led with this, some of these names. Fastly, eBay, Wayfair, Neil rattled off, Tulio. Neil rattled off a couple of those.
This problem is I could
Fastly was the one you missed. I didn't want to interrupt you.
I could name 15 of these.
Oh, of course.
Right
I mean,
now.
you can just look at, I can look at high quality names and be like, what the hell? Can't believe where these names
but
are
like
today.
Affirm was 15% today. Neo and Xpeng, which we actually didn't even talk too much about. Like the other EV names. We're looking at Tesla today because I get it.
I mean,
it's
DraftKings is down 11. Rivian. I mean, we've already talked about Rivian. Roblox down 12, right?
I wanted to mention Amazon.
PayPal down to 10.
There was a question. There was a question about, or not a question, but someone asked about Amazon, and then someone else said that they're dollar cost averaging into Amazon.
Yeah,
which,
okay,
look, if you're going to find a way to get in, look, man, they broke major support at 2,700, and to call this major support doesn't do it justice because my charts pulled back to this is 2019 back here, 2019. So when we broke out from here in 2020. The support you're on right now is the post-pandemic bounce, like it's breakout from the pandemic. That's the support level that it bounced off today, 22.5. So when you break a level like 2,700, like your dips would have been in that 24 range, then off of this 2,200, you get a little there. If we break lower, you got to start thinking about 2,000. Like who knows when it's going to turn? Like get out of here. Like I'm going to be able to tell you when inflation's going to curl.
You don't
Whatever,
know?
man. Like you can look. You can trade off of some crazy parabolic small cap that's like it's going up because it's like just crazy FOMO and all that stuff, and it makes a turn on a line in a chart. But trying to figure out when inflation's going to ebb.
Come on,
I
Neil.
mean, like, give me a break. Like, there's economists who are geniuses who are not figuring that crap out, and you know that's true. But let's be real. Like, the best you can do is try to get it in pieces, and then don't get yourself burned, right? Like, just don't get the hand bit off.
Look, I mean, if you want to know a new position alert for me right here, we're going to try Palantir. I mean, this is how we trade, right? We're going to have Katie Stockton on. We're going to talk maybe a little more macro stuff coming through. But if you're going to sit here in front of a terminal, and how many of us are even around anymore? Traders that sit here and hit keys every day. But look, let me show you something here on the live level too. No other show has anything like this. And if you find one, send it to me. Look, we're showing you live level 2 data right now. Look at the bid here. There's about 500,000, and now it's gone. Here, I'll scroll down. There's about 500,000 shares, if not more than that, sitting here on the bid at 10. Will it chew through? Probably. It's only done 30 million shares today. That's not that many shares. Include dark pool, maybe 1 million shares there. But this is what I'm doing. You ask, what are we going to do today when a market falls like this? And the word for me is scalp. So we're going to go long right now. And if this breaks 10, guess what? I'm out. So right now we're long 05. If it breaks 10, then we can get out of this. There's a lot of upside here in Palantir. So if it wants to go, and I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, this is an Aunt Kathy stock, this is a that, this is a... I'm not looking at their price to earnings ratio, right?
Aren't you though?
No, thank God I'm not. Okay, so what we're just looking at here is the level 2. We're looking at buy side.
Yes, of course.
And then as soon as I say that, look what just happens. Palantir just gets killed down there. They just took like every single thing there that was at $10, but then it refreshed itself. So remember one thing, I mean, hopefully we've learned a lot from our show over the last 2.5, 3 years here, but there's dark pools, right? And so when levels break like that, watch out for them to be refreshed. That could be a sign. Maybe 10 holds, but my out is still the same. If 10, there we go, look at that. Like 10 holds there, and then that right away up 3, 4, 5 pennies right now. So let's not look this gift horse in the mouth, as here it goes right back up to the upside. Palantir, let's go. The market's starting to rally. Here goes AMD. We like AMD. We're $1 in the money on this name as well. So let's see if AMD can rock and roll to the upside right now. And there goes Palantir, up to 10.07, man. Ooh, 10.06. All right, let's take some out here, because remember, this market is tanking, and we just got a little lucky that it held $10 there, Brendo. We're not going to
Brendo. Sorry, we'll come back to me then. Alan asked, he's like, are you short? I think he asked if I was shorting CYN. Well, I kind of told you exactly what would happen. And when it does that failure, the wick top, and then we get back to what was the previous that I shorted in the morning, we get back to that level, it's a wick off top, it's a consolidation lower on a parabolic mover, and it's a scalp at the VWAP because it's still pretty strong. If this thing holds 390, like, come on, it's probably still going to go here, but you're going to always try to ring the register. It's not necessarily about thinking this is going to fall down forever. However, you're just looking for a point at which it rejects a price, where sellers begin to take a bit of control, and then as a short-term day trader, can I play off of this level? And that's exactly what we do every single time. And I get it, there's another way to play this. You could have been long at $4, and you could be scaling out when it pulls back, or scaling out when it does this. So look, where I'm going short, you'd be getting out. For me, I'm going into a short position. It's worked a couple of times here. And yes, CYN is strong, but there are always profit takers, and they are usually pretty aggressive when you get names like this, especially on a weekday. Because one thing I've found when you get a day like this in the overall market is when you catch a bounce on the Qs or the NASDAQ, or catch a bounce in the quality names and the market starts to come back to the upside, some of the high flyers, like the small caps that were doing really well, the money comes out of that towards the end of the day. They start to sell off as the real market starts to get bought back. Kind of makes some sense to me. Now we're going to Brendan. Got a great guest here.
All right, as promised, guys, an important day to understand what matters from a technical standpoint. We're thrilled to have founder and managing partner of Fairlead Strategies and frequent CNBC contributor Katie Stockton with us, a chartered market technician, to give us her take on exactly what we need to know in a day like this. Katie, great to see you. Great to have you on the show. I mean, There's so many things we can talk about after what happened yesterday and what we're seeing today. Let's go to the major indexes first. Give us your take here on what exactly matters on the way back down after what we saw yesterday. We started this afternoon by highlighting the fact all three indexes are still positive on the week here.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. It's my first time with you guys, so great show you're doing. And as you know, I look at things just from a technical perspective, and it's really interesting to me, this tape. I mean, the day-to-day volatility is just insane. I was just saying to somebody, this is really a day trader's market, of which I'm not, but we do try to have an understanding of the short-term posture of the market via the major indices, starting top down, and of course, doing a lot of bottom-up technical work to support that. In terms of both the S&P 500 and NASDAQ 100, they're testing very key support levels in our work on their charts. And these are major levels, not minor levels, based on, in part, Fibonacci retracement levels. So for the S&P 500, the level is roughly 4,200. And you might say, well, we're below. And yet a breakdown for us needs to be confirmed. So we always wait for a couple of solid weekly closes below that level to suggest a breakdown has occurred. And for the NASDAQ 100 index, we're watching roughly 12,900 to 13,000. Again, a very important longer term level. So we're making sure that that level is holding on a consecutive weekly closing basis, or else we have a breakdown. And it's probably not lost on any of you that if you take a step back and look at these charts, they have a bit of a shape of a head and shoulders top. So if these levels are broken, then I think we can expect more downtrending markets for maybe even the balance of this year.
It was so exciting to see, so much volume and so much energy come back into the market yesterday. But, as we said, right back through to, very important key technical levels to the downside today. Let's shift gears here. We had a major move, or a significant move, I guess is a better word, in cryptocurrency markets today, including Bitcoin back to the downside. You spoke earlier in the year on highlighting the importance of that 40,000 level. And if you zoom out on a daily chart, I mean, it's easy to see why, a bit of a pivot, if you will, for BTC. Now that we're solidly below it, and significantly today, after the move we saw today, what matters in Bitcoin first? And then let's talk about ETH as well.
Yeah, for Bitcoin, the 40,000 level for us, I mean, you do see previous lows around there, but it was also something called the cloud model, which is called Ichimoku. It's a Japanese trend following gauge, and it showed very important support right around there that was broken a couple of weeks ago. And so that breakdown, it has been confirmed already. It suggested that downside momentum from a long-term perspective, and also even from an intermediate-term perspective, would stay with Bitcoin. The next support in our work, I think a lot of folks are probably focused on 30,000 because there were some previous lows around there. But to us, using the Fibonacci retracement levels, we feel that 27,200 is a more important support level. So we're actually calling for a possible test of that level before a recovery, before at least a tradable recovery for Bitcoin, just based in part on that breakdown and the downside momentum that really is manifesting itself today.
And when it comes to what we should be looking for as, investors in any of these, really, what would you consider another, bearish sign? What would you consider, on the other hand, a bullish sign for all of these?
Yeah, so in terms of our indicators, and we do use a lot of technical indicators, and not every technician does, but we have these mathematical gauges that actually will flush buy and sell signals. And that's the beauty of them, because they take out some of the gray area, in our opinion, about the marketplace. So we can see a MACD buy signal for one, which is a momentum buy signal, or a stochastic upturn from oversold territory. Those would be two things that we'd feel more confident in adding exposure on the back of. Also breakouts, clearing a resistance level, that can help. We're not trying to be the hero and buying into the ultimate low. We want to make sure that a low appears to be in place. And with that, we're willing to be a little bit late to the game. We want to just make sure that we're riding the trend, not getting caught up in noise. And there is a lot of noise out there. The Bitcoin market and cryptocurrencies broadly have really been tied to risk assets more recently. And that's something else that we have to navigate. It's a tape that's very, I'd call it top down in its orientation. we're not really being rewarded for stock picking or necessarily altcoin picking, whatever you want to do in terms of asset classes. So it's a very difficult tape.
When it comes to the cryptocurrency markets from a technical aspect, Katie, is there maybe a coin that we should be looking at? Is there one that's holding up a little bit better than the rest?
You know, because the space tends to be so homogenous from a technical perspective, my answer is no at this time. It's not to say that won't change somewhat quickly, but as it stands, we feel that anything besides Bitcoin, which is sort of the defensive play, if you will, in the cryptocurrency space, it's the most mature cryptocurrency, it's the most liquid cryptocurrency. So to us, anything else is a little bit higher beta in a way, in that it should be up more on the upside and down more on the downside. And right now, because we think there's more downside, we'd be holding off.
In an environment where fundamentals, if you will, in individual companies are being tested and really put through the ringer to the downside in a lot of ways, technicals matter. Let's have a little chat here about what we should be aware of when it comes to technical analysis as a topic. If you're new to the market, if you're just starting, you know, whether it's day trading or investing in general, talk a little bit about what matters in technicals. And also I wanted to discuss fairly last month coming out with your TAC ETF, T-A-C-K, guys, the ETF. Tell us a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for me, I'm biased, right? Because technical analysis to me always matters. It's my discipline and it's my expertise, but I think of it as a complementary discipline in that there should also be a fundamental component to your research, a macro component, even a political component. And the technicals are fantastic for not only idea generation, for which I think technicals are really known, but also risk management, trying to understand where either a trend is shifting or when an important level has been broken, where buyers should have stepped in and they didn't, so that increases risk. Being armed with some information on that front is really, I think, beneficial, especially if you can employ technical analysis systematically. And to let that sort of lead into the conversation about TAC or TACK as the ETF that we launched, it is systematic. It's really a model-driven strategy based on technical analysis, so it's trend following and momentum. And TAC is designed to leverage sector leadership primarily. So it starts top down with sector ETFs, evaluates them, looks for leadership, looks for relative strength, and importantly, it has the ability to move into other asset classes when the market dictates. So it has sort of an inherent risk management piece in that it can move into short-term treasuries, long-term treasuries, and gold using ETFs as well. And in fact, right now, it's about half in risk-off category.
I want to make sure we get to energy markets here because it's been a wild ride since the beginning of the year, obviously. I mean, geopolitical headlines aside here, let's talk from a technical standpoint. Obviously, 100 in crude oil jumps off the page at you from a technical standpoint, very key level. What are you seeing as far as energy markets are concerned? I mean, just this week, we've had, you know, volatility jump back into oil markets.
Well, you've identified a sector, at least on the equity front, that's really outperformed and has momentum, certainly better momentum than most, and it is actually a part of that right now. In terms of the commodities, and this gives us some more confidence in that position, we have seen some short-term breakouts develop just this week in both crude oil, or WTI crude oil, and also natural gas. Both have cleared minor resistance levels, really extending their existing uptrends and allowing them to avoid some sell signals that we had an eye on. So we think that they're poised for short-term upside follow through. We say short-term in part because of the market's unpredictability at this time. So we want to make sure that we're nimble in our positioning and really sensitive to any loss of momentum. But we do think that the triangle breakout in crude oil in particular is compelling from a short-term perspective because those triangles tend to be fairly high probability setups.
Katie Stockton is a chartered market technician. She's the founder and managing partner of Fairlead Strategies. Go to fairleadstrategies.com. Katie, thank you so much for doing this. We appreciate your time.
Thanks so much. Take care.
Have a great afternoon. A great look, guys, on a number of things today. Obviously, there's technical levels being tested right across the board. Good look at Bitcoin there specifically. What a move today to the downside again.
Oh, man, and fantastic guest, and we want to thank Katie for coming on. And A lot of people, there was a point this morning when we're watching sort of the bloodbath, and it's like, yeah, that's right, and Bitcoin too, almost as if it was an afterthought after that 40,000 failure. We've bounced, just to go over it, we did bounce at 36 just now. I mean, this is a 1 hour chart, but we did just make a slight bounce here. We're still below what was previous support. And this has been following, it's been following around with when the NASDAQ makes a bit of a dip, it just kind of dips with it, and that's what we're looking at today. I mean, it's like, this is basically like the polar opposite of the afternoon yesterday.
Right.
More or less, right? So you start thinking about, if you're in the short positions, like how can you profit from them by holding on a little bit longer, allowing the market to come to you, and if you got to take a long, make sure it's something good. And also make sure it's at some key levels or is showing at least a little bit of relative strength. That's why you're seeing me play Rivian, because for whatever reason, it had relative strength, which I'm not saying I understand because the lockup expires on Monday, but it bounced anyway, so I'm going to take it. I did get all out of CYN, so I want to ring. I'm not ringing the register. I'm hitting that one for, let's go least, man. Let's see if we can't get it to 2-1. But CYN, lower high, short to VWAP, out. Now you might see it bounce here, and it's not a horrible long. I don't love the long at 420 in front of a 390 because you're not wrong till 390. So that's like 30 cents worth of risk with an hour to go. You need it to start taking out the high for that to be a good trade for me. Now, if you were long at $4, fair enough. And the conversation I had with, Dominic was saying a lot of people are probably still long this, and I get it. And the difference is, if you're trading this when it originally broke out, right? Like, there's anybody still holding on to it from the original breakout on CYN at $2 that is held through it getting to 7, maybe profited on the way up. At this particular point, if you profited and held through, you would have gotten out by now, very likely. Like, you might be thinking, some people would be taking these outs here when it got back to like the 375, and you're like, oh man, I better take this, get something out because it's off that $2 level. That's probably already happened. So anyone sticking it out is unlikely to be selling at this point. So you're up against whoever it is that's trading from today's move. And that's why you play for this little, it's still a strong stock. You play for that little tiny move. There's not as many people that are panicking here. If this had squeezed up to $6 today and started pulling back, then I think there'd be people running the exits and you're looking for a dollar retracement. Right now, I think you're just playing for that quick little 20 or 30 cent move because it's still so strong.
Oh, man.
Oh, God. Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Whoops.
And look, we're into scout mode right now, so we'll fire off the sausage cannon one more time because while we were with Katie there, great interview, by the way, on that one, AMD, and I put in the chat, AMD ripped up, and I just got out of half of what we had left. So right now, AMD has come back in, but this is what I'm talking about. In, out, as it starts to go back up. And we did the same thing. I mean, Palantir isn't as juicy because it didn't go, but it went back to 09, the 50 period, and we're long at 04. So, a lot of these outs, they're just 3 or 4 or 5 pennies. They suck. Like, I'm trying to hold for higher, but obviously with the market doing like this, and Joshua Kim, what's up, my man? You had some good points there too that you're talking about. You used to be jealous of people that could hold for a long time, and now you're happy that you're a scalper. And yeah, I mean, that's part of the battle, right? And that's why I think we do a great job here with different styles of trading, different formats, different strategies, and everyone can eat, right? I mean, it doesn't really matter what your strategy is, just make sure you have one. And I think that that's what the most important thing is. And if you're watching our show, hopefully we're helping you develop some strategy. And just like what we did there on Palantir, right? We're playing off 10. And if you zoom out a little bit, I mean, $10, we only dropped down one day and we went to 950. I think that was earnings, to be honest with you, or I don't know, what day was this? Or it was just a day that the market got killed, Feb 24th. But yeah, nice move down here. That was probably earnings retraced down. Anyways, it closed the day higher. The point I'm trying to get at is it's only been down here once to $10, right? And so when you see that, that's why we start to take advantage of plays. So, if you're a scalper, you want to look at levels like that. But yeah, Palantir, we got a little bit out, and I'm sure as heck glad that we got out of AMD as well. It's down to a reload spot, so that's what I'm going to do one more time. And I think if you're trading, Joshua, and everybody else that's out there, like when you see a move like this, come back in, this is where you want to put another trade on, right? So we're sitting there, actually didn't get filled. We are sitting here in the teens to try to get some more shares of AMD. So as it comes crashing in here, we'll take the bid and then we'll use our 90. I mean, the bottom, I guess, was 93 flat. So, we'll use somewhere around 93. I'm actually using 93. So 93 is my out. I don't want to get I don't even want to lose 10 more cents than that. If it cracks through 93, we'll get out of this one. But right now, AMD is pushing lower, and this is where you want to start. Again, take some longs. And then if I'm going to go long here, I think my bid's at 12. If I'm going to go long here in the teens, my out's going to be 20 cents worth of risk. Well, we just took right there $1 on a piece. So, that's the kind of risk to reward you're looking for right now as this market comes back in. Man, we're in the power hour. A little different than yesterday's power hour when we were going up like crazy compared to what we're looking at right now, guys.
Yeah, that's like saying Alejandro Kirk is a little different from a Judge, or Manute Bull and Muggsy Bogues are a little different. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Just a little different, yeah. Same sport.
Or the Fridge and, I don't know, who's a small football player? Darren Sproles?
Devontae Smith.
Oh, well, he's skinny. He's tall.
Yeah, he's like $180 or something.
You know what? I might weigh more than Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
He's a good receiver, though.
Oh,
I can't.
Yeah, you were talking about comparing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So while this is happening, I know most people aren't going to be happy to see Tesla just went 9% down, breaking 870. Volatility just went through the roof. And by the roof, I just mean the high of the day. Through the roof, I suppose, would be significantly higher than that. So you know what? I actually jumped into, and it's SSR today, NEO, because NEO broke support. Now, I am working along Rivian. Somehow my Rivian long that I've been sitting in 5 minutes is flat while the market makes new lows. But check out the support that just got broken on NEO. Last time it did this, it flushed through $15, but now it's through that 15 quarter. So I want to play it down to 15. Every Pages, how much do I weigh? Really? Is that interesting? I don't know why anyone cares about that, but I'm not, get us to like 3,000 likes or something and I'll answer that question. That's a little weird that you want to know that. But if you're thinking about the weakest names in the market, from what I could see, well, in the EV space anyways, NEO was by far the weakest. I didn't look at it till later on in the session. That's why I just jumped over to it. Down 16%, breaking major support. Tesla had already gone. So Tesla had taken the bottom, and NEO was sort of trying to break through this. That's why we jumped into it. It's a slim chance that both Rivian and NEO work out. Right, like you'll hold on to the short, but if we see 30 break on Rivian, I can't be stubborn about it. But if 15 breaks on NEO, I kind of want to have something on board. And we have almost a full hour until the market closes. And you remember, like every single long I had, I was getting out of it really quick because I'll scalp something out. Today's going to be a little bit different with the short side of the trade. Sure, scalp something out, but try to maintain that position. Because if we come with a sell imbalance today, like what do we think is going to happen if we have a big sell imbalance today? We're breaking lows. Just like yesterday, after Fed, we just kept breaking the highs. It would consolidate, pull back a teeny little bit, break the high. There were trades and scalps to be had, but if you held on to a portion of your longs, you were laughing. And until I see UVXY pull back, I want to make sure I have some shorts on board, Miss V. She gone.
I don't know what happened there. She gone like AMD is gone, and there it is right there, man. We talked about taking the long. No real skin off our back as that cracks lower, lower, lower. So sucks, losing trade for sure. As we took the long there at 12, I think it was 12, yeah, 13s. And we took some more at 05 there, and we just broke the low. So yeah, no more doing that. No more trying to catch some bottoms. Let's go round two here. What's up, Ms. V?
Take two, guys. 1 hour left until the end of this trading day. And I remind you to like this video. Almost 4,000 people are watching us right now and only 400 likes. So guys, if you didn't do so yet, please smash those thumbs to the upside. Back to you guys.
Only 4. So you just mentioned like Take Two because we went back to V a second time. And I sort of said, how much do you think Take Two Interactive is down? Thinking it would be double digits, and it's only down 4%. So that ended up being boring. That's not that bad. Anything that's only falling down 4% is not the end of the world. If the NASDAQ's doing worse, then you've done okay. I just took the first leg out on NIO. We made some sports references, so we'll try to be balling. I want to hold on to more of this, but as I zoom back in, I'll take some out in front of 15 as well, then try to maintain that short position. We're continuing that breakout in volatility. I don't know if Rivian's going to hold, but it's barely dropping, which is weird. It's still at 30.30 on Rivian, which is it's a little bit shocking to me. Tesla is just absolutely falling, and this is why I wanted to be in. I don't know why I didn't just, I missed the Tesla 870 break, right? So I tried to find something that was breaking support, and Tesla 850 could come into play. I remember 840 was a big deal. You start to ask yourself, where can we go? And if you look at this, 840, just obviously the beginning of the week, and then from there, 820 when we fell apart on Thursday of last week, oddly enough. Today is Thursday. So 1 week ago today, we were talking about 825, and now we're breaking through the lows at 310 on Tesla. So buckle up, guys. Buckle up.
This sucks. AMD's right back through now, and this is what we mean about Scalp City, guys. Like, right back upside now. So that sucks. But again, you know, like, I'm upset because we lose that 15, 20 pennies, but there it is right there. There's the 20 penny win on the other side. So it's like you got to be careful with what you're doing, and I think scalping is always going to win the day here as we go. A name that we've brought up a couple times here is Roblox. By the way, I got into Palantir, and I mean, I just scalped some at 05 again. We're going to wait to see if that breaks the bottom there as well. $10, the bottom there on Palantir. You see where I'm long 10.02 change there. I don't know. What was it showing there? 10.03. Yeah, so okay, that's fine. Rounding up there. So, yeah, Roblox, another name here. Look at this move today, man. Right off the open, $35 all the way down to 30. That's basically the whole move. And now it's just been a little choppy over the last hour or so, stuck in here. 31 top, 30 bottom. So back and forth in here about $1. But if you look back, and again, this is another name where if you can hold something down against yourself about 70 cents or so, you know, this could be a name that if the market rallies, we've seen Roblox kick it off again. So that's its all-time low of $29.50 right now. And again, you don't really want to catch falling swords or anything like that, but we do have still that 40 minutes left before the imbalances come out. So is there a possibility for this kind of a move to be caught again? Why not? Like, you take this long $30 and you're already in the money 30 cents. It's not a huge win, but again, if you trade 300 shares, something like that. It's a $30 stock, even 100 shares, whatever. You know, you make that 30 cents. You can make that $30, you know, and then as you're practicing, getting better on your craft, then you start to up your shares again. So I like Roblox down here, but I want it to get near, again, I'm not going to push any of these. Like, I'm not pushing longs once the market is bouncing a little bit. Like, I would rather get this near this 30 level and then see if I can breathe a little bit down to that 29. I don't even know. On the daily chart, it doesn't even show that 29.50. So I don't know what that
was. Probably a pre-market low.
I know, but it should still tick down.
You're
here.
right.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense. But there's the. I'll look at a different chart. Where's the chart that I was first talking about? Right here. Yeah, it doesn't look like it was in the pre-market. This is on April 28th. Right there. So I don't know, $29.50 bottom for Roblox. So if this comes to 30, I'm going to load that up and see if we can't get a 1-to-1 risk to reward in case this market does shoot back upside.
I want to make a clarification on something because I mentioned the halt bands on the futures, but I neglected to mention something very important. So thank you, Prad, for reminding me. That 7% circuit breaker, that if we don't hit it by 325, so in the next 13 minutes, then there is no circuit breaker halt. They don't halt for that market circuit breaker on the futures. They're not going to do that in the last 35 minutes of the day. That is the rule. So unless something crazy happens the next 13 minutes, that is not something that is going to happen today. So just wanted to get that one out of the way. I am sitting in this ICPT, and I'll show you. I didn't get this short off the open. This one tried to go, and then I said I'd be patient with it. Like, someone asked me if I was shorting it at about like 7 o'clock, and I said, no, well, if I get these prices like in front of 22, closer to the open, that's what I would try. And then it just fell all over itself. Now, it did make it at the open. It made a top exactly at like 1965. I shorted that, and then got in here in front of 20 even. So it got to 19.99 on the offer. I shorted 94, scalped some out there at like 60s, and I've been holding here since. If 20 breaks, this could absolutely jailbreak to the upside. So if you're looking for something that might go, it's going to be ICPT. And I just watched Rivian. I said to myself, if I'm doing this like, you know, sort of scalp game in front of 30, and it doesn't bounce at this level here, 30-30 support.
Oh, I know what I want.
How about I just go long in front of 30? Like, why am I trying to get cute about it? So I actually just took this out when it broke 25. And I get it. If I was trying to scalp it for 10, 15 cents at 35 long, then I'll just get out when it breaks 25. And if it comes to 30, I'll go long in front of 30. I'm not going to bother averaging it. The market's too weak for that kind of a game. So if you're going to scalp it, make sure you have it out and then get back in at the prices you like. And for me, Rivian, it's the 30 from earlier. So I'll wait around for 30 to come in.
You know, I'm going to Lucid reports, right?
Lucid, yes.
Yeah, so I'm going to go long Lucid. Yeah, I think it's tomorrow. So, and again, Lucid's right here on the daily chart. Obviously sick. They all look the same. Lucid.ny. Okay, I don't even know why that's there, but here you go, Lucid.NQ. We're going to go long here off the bottom of the day, 1835. So here's a long. We just came up from that level there. Let's see, maybe. I mean, we don't want earnings to be leaked because I'm not sure. I don't know what they're going to be here. But let's just see if Lucid does catch a bottom there. And we are bottom picking this name. But this name's only going to be for a dime. So again, we put a little bit of an upsized position. We'll see if we can catch a dime. We'll try to catch more than a dime on this. Like, I'm thinking, why not, man? The 50 period gives us 20 cents, which is 2 to 1 on our risk to reward ratio right there. And then if you can get into this area, you know, then you're at 70 cents, which gives you 30 pennies or so. Let's call it 25, which will give you a 2.5 to 1 ratio there. So I'm just playing this off that wick bottom there. We have to take down 34 for me to get out of Lucid. So just a trade idea here that I'm working with. But look what we're all working with right now. Ooh. NASDAQ breaking the lows, giving us that 6P right now. You're down 6%. And I actually was just messaging, I think it's, well, first of all, we're about to break here on Palantir. Like, if you're dollar cost averaging right now, it's the time to do it on the NASDAQ. Like, I don't know if you have futures in your account or if you have the Qs or something like that. You know, a big move down today of 6%. Remember, you had an up move of 3%. I don't know, Brendan, I don't have the weekly chart, but Brendan said we were still positive on the week. I don't know if that was like hovering. It's probably close to flat now, if not red now on the week. So that's what I mean. Like, if you're dollar cost averaging and you bought yesterday, sorry about that, but you do get an opportunity here to buy a little bit more. And I'm not.
I think we just broke.
So, you know, you're back to flat. So if you close your eyes and imagine we had this whole week full of earnings, full of Fed, full of anarchy, everything, and you're just back to where you were Sunday night, let's call that. So anyways, it looks like it's doom and gloom, but hey, if you're for the longer term, and don't at me on Twitter all this, you know, how dare I call this the bottom? That's not what I'm saying. It's just, there could be an opportunity here for us to make a little bit of money trying to buy some bottoms and dollar cost averaging, because if you have 10 grand to invest, and let's just say you're already in 3,000 of those dollars, who cares what the price is? You know, you can put another 10% in here at these levels. Get that cost down. The market's not going to fall forever, and no one's ever predicted a bottom. So that's what I'm thinking, and I'm also thinking right now that Lucid is trying to make a move back up. So 1850 it just went to, it just touched right there. If it can get up to the 50 period, we'll take another piece out on Lucid, not another piece, the first piece out, 52. We look to get that. There goes Lucid right now.
Yeah, another move down there on. And again, so you're slapping yourself if you're too frisky about the longs. But another move down there on NEO. I just saw Tesla hold 860. I took some out of NEO because NEO put this candle on. Breaking through the 20s, down into 1510. And I was going to cover in front of 15, or some in front of 15 anyways. But once Tesla started to make a bounce off 860 there, and we got to 18 on, so it was, this morning I was talking about 16 on UVXY, and then it was 17 at lunchtime. We just touched 18.
Yeah.
And when we got there, we just kind of slowed down there. Tesla made a bottom 860. Well, made a bit of a bounce off 860. So a good reason to get some more shares out of NEO. I don't want to close the position, and if we start to go back to the upside, I'll just try to get more shares back in. But until it pops, I can't really add to it. And it was probably a good decision to get out of Rivian and then wait for 30, because we're halfway there. It looks like we could get that test of 30 even. If you're still watching that CYN, I don't want to ignore you small cap names. Why not? Okay, so my strategy was to get out at VWAP there. Obviously could have hung on to that one, but guess where it just got to? Right back to what the support was from the first pop in the morning, and that's that 390 area. Call it like 385, that's the true bottom. Maybe like even 382, so you're probably okay to 380, but if it can't bounce at 380, it's got a bit of a gap to fill. So you've got one wick top, establish the range, try to get through the high and fail, and now you're right back to morning support, and that'll be 380. If it breaks, you could be in some trouble. If we get a decent consolidation here, there might be a scalp back into VWAP for a long play, but I'd need to see some buyers show that they're willing to defend this. Not a lot of size on this level too. and the volume is dying down. You can see the big spike in volume, or hard to see. You can see, if I do this, you can probably see the big spike in volume as it tried to take out the high. And here's the key thing about volume. See the spike that you got here? Almost as big as the volume you saw later in the session when it tried to take the high of the day. When it got to the lower high, when I'm putting the short on, look where the volume's at. Nowhere close. So the second push to that lower high, nowhere close. If it tries pressing to the lower high on volume that's equivalent, like it's really, really strong on the volume side, then you don't jump into that short trade. But the fact that there is no juice to the people buying this little dip here, that's a good sign that your short can be okay. Or if you're long, maybe take some profit.
All right, I just, on that note, I just, honestly, I was long at 03 a little bit. We took out some pressure there. I took out about 25% at 01s. I got some rebates for it. That doesn't mean anything to you guys. But we'll wait to see if it goes back up now. But I'm sitting here waiting, and I own shares of Palantir on the show, and personally. But, we're not. I feel like it's going to break 10. So, when it does that, I might as well save myself a penny. Took out some there. Now we're going to hold. Because I took it out when normally I wouldn't do that, now I at least wait. Forget about 05s. Like, I'm thinking now we got to wait for up here, man, like 15s, 14s or 15s on Palantir. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to wait for that level, or it breaks here, and then that's that. Either the market rallies now, or like, so this is, it's not an either or kind of situation, but it's like, if I'm going to sit here in a position, then I have to give it some room, because we're very, very close to dropping. Like, why am I focusing on this if I'm just going to take 1 or 2 pennies? So let's wait to see if it gets up here. We have the out. It's about as clear as day here on that position. So if it comes out, it comes out. But right now we are looking at Palantir. Lucid, whatever, man. We got some out at 50 there. Didn't go to 51 for us, but it did, but we're waiting for 52. So if 52 can come through, then we'll look at that again. The best trade that we have on board right now is a short, obviously, and it's eBay, and that's still trying to work. But other than that, man, we're still waiting for Apple to see if it can make a run. Yeah, Apple's not, though. I was hoping for 157.50, 158. We talked about that. That's not happening right now. Bitcoin down to 30. Wow, okay. We didn't have any charts for when Katie was talking, but Bitcoin right now on the daily is right at that 35 mark, right? So you got to watch out for that. You break that 35, then I don't see why we wouldn't test 30 there. And I'm a bull. I'm long Bitcoins. But I did get in and out there. Like, when it broke 40, 40's been the key to me. Like, either we hold above it and I get out, or it breaks back low and I get out again. So we're light on Bitcoin right now. I have about half my portfolio in cash and half in crypto. So we're going to have to wait on that. I'm talking about my crypto portfolio. So in stable coins, I guess I should say. So we'll wait to see. Hopefully they remain stable in all of this, because then it'll be bye-bye to that one. But so right now, downside.
Watch for those, man.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing with Tether and all that stuff. Yeah. Downside right now with crypto. But not looking nice if we don't hold that 35,000, guys.
Yeah, it's not
Coinbase is like at what, 113 or something?
If that. I haven't looked. It might actually be at 113. I'm joking that it's lower. Yeah.
I honestly, I didn't look. Come to my screen. You're gonna I know that was just. I looked the last couple of days, but I didn't look today. But just thinking how far we were talking about.
I remember yesterday we were talking about 125.
Right.
Or 123, 125 on Coinbase. That was yesterday. Now we're at 113. And by the way, fresh high.
Go ahead, yeah.
UVXY, fresh high, up 28% and up $18. And you know what? And maybe I guess gotta start doing this tomorrow. It's like I'm using this as a bit of an indicator for some of the trades. At some point, this looks real nice, man, from a technical standpoint. Like, if you look at the top that it put in, yesterday off of the Fed, and when we got there's your consolidation. And then I can go full screen on this one, so you can maybe see this a little bit better, because it's not just this was the Fed high. This was the high of the day yesterday. Like, look at this nice breakout. Sure, you see it go parabolic, but when it makes the break of the previous lower high, that's a Fed high. It then tries to get through the previous high of the day, pulls back in, holds, and then you get this nice break where you break back out, try to reclaim the low, You can't do it, and when it takes the new fresh high, you're in at 1650. It never even threatens the bottom, and it's off to the races. It even comes back in here, and then can't break 16, and then goes parabolic again. So, it holds that channel really, really nicely for some dip buys, and then you can start breaking out. And look, if you can trade it, and it follows patterns that make sense to you, then you know what? You might as well just want to trade it. It's been a good indicator, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to get away from that, but man, that looks awfully tradable to me. And when you see something like that, you just got to try to step in and do it. I actually have never traded UVXY before. I put it up. I've been watching it for I don't know how long. I mean, more than months, probably at least a couple of years now. But I've never actually traded it. That might start to change because I like what I see.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying about the market. Like, why try to make some calls on things when you're staring at the market all day, and like that's all I'm looking at. So yeah, we do have the ability to obviously trade all of these. If it's listed on any of the major exchanges, we can pretty much trade it, including even E-mini futures, the micro minis, oil, everything like that. So there goes Palantir. It did wind up breaking, and we wound up getting out. But I think I might go back in here just to try it one more time, see if we can get a long down there at 10 or so, and then maybe we have to push the long if we have to. Did we get 10s or starting? Well, we got some freebies there, but we'll see about it. We'll see one more time there. That bottom was 98. And the reason I'm testing it one more time, I don't think Palantir is going to work. It's just we did just make that bottom there, so I think it's like worth one more chance. It just went to 02s. We're long O's right now, so that last hit was 3 pennies. So not big. Let's just try our luck one more time. And I feel like it is luck if we're going to go. But there goes AMD. I was going to say, this is another level, 92. Remember when we blew that up to the downside here? And we're like, maybe 92. Darn it. Maybe 92 is going to come into play. Well, I mean, we're right there right now. I guess it wasn't the daily chart. It must have been the 20-minute there from yesterday's levels. I guess $92 or so. Yeah, it was right. Yeah, it was right this top right there. So 92 coming into play faster than maybe we all think here on AMD. So a nice little move on that name. Again, you wanted to test a long, you can do it. And if the market rips, then congratulations, but at least you have your out, right? I mean, I think that's the key thing. So if you want to test some of these stocks, make sure you have an out. If you want to go long Facebook right now, have an out at 207 that's held decently the last little while. But again, we'll have to wait, man. The low today is 202 on Facebook? No, that's not right. The low today on Facebook would be probably whatever this was there, 206. So there's the bottom there on Facebook. I'd use 207 as my out, but it might not be worth doing anything on any of these names. Okay, we'll take a little piece out at 03 if we can get it here. We lost 3 cents on Palantir, and then we just didn't get an opportunity to get it either. So we'll see about this move going back up to the upside. $4 in the money on eBay, guys. It's a $50 name, and we're in the money $4. So we almost have this whole move to the downside. What's up, Brendo?
Another one back to significant levels, guys. Boeing down almost 5% on the day today. They announced they're going to move their headquarters to Northern Virginia from Chicago. Not a huge announcement, but worth noting. Big time levels coming into play here for Boeing. Yeah,
there's another example. We've probably saying, dollar cost average way too much, but there's a reason why. And you start to think about it, if you like something for the long haul. When I say the long haul, I don't mean holding it for a week or a month or I'm talking years, man. I'm not even talking about quarters, because if you're only thinking in terms of quarters when we're raising rates this year, then you're not thinking long-term enough when you're starting to buy dips. But those significant levels, we're talking 140. We actually just bounced off this. Was it last week or was it Monday maybe even that we bounced off this on Boeing? Because I remember the big flush on Boeing last week. Yeah, and then we got to this week 143. 140 is a monstrous level on Boeing. We got to be able to pay attention to that. You break it, and you're going to start to get some very, very attractive prices. I did just now close the case on HYMC. If you remember this is the name that AMC invested in. It tried to pop on earnings, by the way. It's actually had a catalyst for its gap up. It popped off on earnings. This is an absolute classic double top. Here is your previous support level. That's $1.95. It rolled over from there, rejected that price, tried to get there twice, and it was a short off of it. However, the target, previous resistance down here at $1.50. So it just got out. It just tried to curl at about $1.56. So just got out of that one. And here comes Rivian. It seems inevitable. If the market's going down and if you like to buy in front of a level, well, just wait for it to come to that level, because guess what? In a falling market, it's probably going to get to your price as long as it's above the low of the day. And Rivian 30 is the low of the day. Do have to watch out for 20 minutes from now when the imbalances do come out here. We'll try to get that like early update from, I think it's like Financial Juice, just to see if it's significant. But we're testing these lows. And by the way, we do not have to worry about that circuit breaker getting hit. We're at 6%. And we're past 325. So, hey, at least the NASDAQ's not going to halt.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, maybe a halt might be the savior here. We halt and then we open up higher. Why not?
That's what happened. Well, it was
maybe it's not a bad idea.
The election night, not the last one,
the
but the
night,
one before
overnight, when Donald Trump was elected.
It hit the band. It's like it can't trade any lower. Hey, man, I know a few people that just jammed along and said, hey, all that doom and gloom, we're going to bounce from here. And then it did. It's exactly what happened. It had a huge bounce.
When they reopened there in the evenings. But okay, so again, you know, some of those names, I feel like the best advice I've given here is to not really trade unless you're looking for the shorts. But the problem with the short right now is Amazon, brand new 52-week low right now, down 9% as well. And I just got a trade notification that I just got filled on more Google longs. So there we go. We're talking about the investment. And look, I've been holding Google now for probably a decade, and I've never sold a share. So when I'm talking about some of these long-term plays, sure, you're stubborn sometimes with these names, and you know I woulda, coulda, shoulda got out there at 3,000. What are you supposed to do, right? I remember first punching that key in a couple $100, and then so that's why. You know, sometimes if you have a longer-term time frame, that's what you got to do. You know, so I'm just trying to build for my family and stuff like that. So that's what we're doing there on that and to retire. I mean, you know, Neil and I are just 25 years old. We have a lot of time to go
all
here
the time
on this one, so we'll wait for that. But okay, so Lucid, unfortunately, I missed it, man. Lucid went to 55, and I wasn't even looking at it. I was looking at Palantir, which should have been looking at Lucid. So there was that 1-to-1, man. It went right up there. That was the target that we had. So now we're out of 30%, all at 50. So we got 150 there, a 52, and then another 50. So so far so good, but now it's against us. So I just want to give everyone that attention. It's against us a penny now on Lucid when we should have taken that dime. The idea was to take a little bit out, probably be half in to that position at 55 because our 1-to-1 was down here at 1835. I don't even have that order in. I got to trigger that in there now to make sure we get this. But we're trading this off of this low right now. So with that being said, I think I'm going to go in and buy some more right now on Lucid. Why not do that? If I'm going to try to take that low, we might as well look at it one more time. Remember, Lucid has earnings tomorrow, so
they're in the morning, right?
Most likely. Yeah. I mean, if we've already talked about it, it should be either tonight or tomorrow morning. But it's definitely going to be affected on tomorrow's trade. So we'll see about this Lucid. There it is, man. We picked it up. And if you just sit there, you know, I should have sat there and collected fees because it just went right through us. But sometimes you get fills when you're trying to scalp back and forth here, but you have to pay for them. So you almost pay like half a penny to get long at 42. And then so you can't just scalp it back and forth. That's not a profitable trade. So it needs to go back up to the upside. But we haven't hit this today because we didn't have too many reloads. But there we are. Now we are reloaded on Lucid downside, giving us the same average price of 43. Let's see if we get back up into 50s right now. Hopefully we can get back up there into 1850. So that's what we're looking for Lucid. And again, our out is still the same, guys. Right down here, 1835. If that hits, then we're out of Lucid. It's going to play the bottom of the day. And there it is. That's not a bad reload right there. We got 41s or 42s up to 48 right now. Let's take a piece out.
It's honestly, right when you hit that, I was actually just getting Rivian at 11 in front of 310. It could not break 310. But I think the market just bounced a teensy little bit. So you did get a bit of a bounce, and I just gotten into Rivian. So look, the scalp game is going to be on. I'm holding Neo because that's still in the money, but a bit of a bounce here, and we'll see if we can't take like the first 10. It never got to 30 even, so you know at this point it hasn't really dug in. But 340 certainly in a second level to come up there. Oh, Lucid's aftermarket tonight, so that could be exciting. I have no idea what time that'll actually be, but a lot of times you don't get a chance to see it. If we do, then it'll be definitely exciting. And
I'm not holding this for that.
Well, no, of course not.
Yeah.
Boy, I mean,
just in case people thought, because I've been known to hold something a little late after the market, but they 450. Yeah, so that's another point here. We are trading at Daytrade the World, which is a prop firm here. And again, if you are looking to be, Valeria can drop the link in the chat if you're looking to be a part of our team here. But we don't hold anything past 4 o'clock. And then the ultimate, if you're stuck in something, we do have until 4:15 or so, but that's crazy. I'm not here to predict what Lucid earnings are going to be. I mean, I don't know anything about it, nor do I really want to know anything about it because I'm holding the trade.
Well,
so,
you could predict. Oh, okay, no.
No, I'm just saying we don't want to get accused of anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, okay, not great in terms of real terms, but it's about expectations and guide, right? Like that's.
It's only about the guide,
and production.
I don't know if they're going to, I mean, everybody knows the production numbers, I feel like. It's just a matter of, like you said, will they guide higher? Where do they feel like the EV market's going for them? And then are they on track to hit some of the production targets that they've already given? So we'll wait for Lucid. And I like Lucid here, man. I mean, we've done the pipe. Everything's already done for Lucid. We made that bottom at 1835 there today. So we'll see there. There it is. Unplugged right now. Hopefully Lucid can get going to the upside.
And so, you're in Rivian. Oh, sorry, I'm in Rivian. You're in Lucid right now. So we might as well hit the graphic. I was able to just get, the 310 play up to like 3.25. So we'll take that scalp trade. If we can get to 40, that's probably good enough because we're not long at like 305 at 302. This is not right in front of 30 even, which you did like this morning. Like it really did come down here and give you just fantastic fills in front of that 33. I don't know if we're going to get that here today, but. That's the only long I actually like right now. I cannot find anything else that I think is worth it. But even NEO's starting to climb back to the upside. We got about 15 minutes till the imbalances come. And if I get a reload off of this 15-30 area on NEO, I'll go ahead and do it. But the market's trying to catch a bid. We hit 6% on the NASDAQ. Now we're at 5.6. And this is what happened at 18 on UVXY. I'm just going to keep coming back to it. We broke 18, got to 20, and this is our first significant pullback since, I don't know, like 150. I guess it was a decent pullback here, like 40 minutes ago. But yeah, if we start reversing here, some of these longs might start to work, and we can catch a bit of a bid, so long as the imbalances want to cooperate. You are getting a decent wick top and an attempt at a pullback, but we're not really breaking support just yet. And I'm talking about UVXY. So for now, it looks like some of these longs, if you caught a good bottom, they got a chance to work out for you here.
Oh boy. Whoa. Hello there. Good thing we reloaded onto Palantir, as that's a nice move back in. And this is what I mean. I reloaded with the same amount of shares. The first hit you guys saw me was 3 pennies. We're now in the money 8. So there it is. It's 2.5 to 1 right now, but we've been scalping it out on the upside. So we currently have about 65% of our position left. Looking, and like I said, now that we're sort of starting to go now, the NASDAQ's trying to go up. I think I just heard Brad say that like he might put a big position on heading into this close here. So he didn't say anything. Okay, good. So I thought that was it. No, you might be right. I'm just thinking that the imbalances are coming now in only 15, 14 minutes here. Wondering how big it's going to be there. So I don't know. I know Brad does. We all like to look at the imbalances there. So let's see that. But he did put in the chat here, Brad this guy's doing more work than I've ever seen here today. Square 410, Lucid 405, Dash 405, Space. We haven't
my God, we didn't talk about that.
What the hell's going on Virgin Galactic?
I knew that all day long. I was like, there was something I'm forgetting about today.
Was that because, this name.
No, on the way in today, I was trying to remember it. Oh, come on, daily chart.
I mean, I thought the bottom for Space would be eventually 0, but it's going all the way.
It's actually caught a bid at 7.
Yeah, so let's have a quick look at the daily chart here. I caught this bid at 650. Let's just zoom out so you could just see how catastrophic this is as well. I talked about putting people in jail. Again, you know what you're getting into with Space. So
I'll tell you this right now. So on that line, and it's an unpopular thing to say, but if you want the real culprit for why so many of these SPACs and so many of these IPOs have blown up, don't blame the people that took advantage of it. Blame the free money policies that allow these things to happen. Like the vehicle for it is debt money creation. I'm just throwing it out there. Don't Peter Schiff me, but I'm just throwing that out there. Like that's what allows those types of bubbles to happen. But if you're looking at Virgin Galactic, oh baby, their price to sales, and I have to read this one out to you
big
because
move
you've never seen a price to sales at 680 before, and if you have, let me know what it is. That's probably not going to improve by a lot, but it is actually SSR and on monster levels. $7 is huge on Virgin Galactic. It's caught a bid here. If it manages to hold this by having any kind of positivity, it's a squeeze potential play, obviously, but it's under a world of hurt if $7 breaks.
Let's go, Lucid. Bang, right there as we go. And it's going to the upside right now. 61s. Like you guys want to talk about, We did a segment there on how to trade these markets, man. Yeah, I got this, don't worry. How to trade the markets right now. And honestly, Lucid with a 5 cent worth of risk is now in the money 20 cents. So that's how you play these things. What's up, Brendo?
Speaking of EVs, guys, I remember this morning we were talking about the Project Ronin for Fisker. They've updated this picture on their Twitter account. So now there's a coupe as well, apparently, in addition to this convertible. So a new picture of Project Ronin for FSR.
All right,
Picture's too dark. I can barely even see
I can't really see that, but I'll check that out afterwards.
Like,
Project Ronin sounds interesting.
It probably looked really, really cool, I'm not going to lie. I just got out of, and I had this conversation with Arun last week about how if you're in something and it's absolutely not moving and really the strength is against you, then just take it out at this time of day. Like, what are you even hoping for? And ICPT, it's barcoding, but it's doing so above VWAP on a grind, which really is forming a bit of a wedge. If you kind of look at it here, it is forming a bit of a wedge, and it's had a big recovery after a huge bottom. So, no need to have this just, I have a stop at 20. I'm not going to let it get to the 20 stop. I'm just going to take the profit. We are bouncing in the market. So all of a sudden it's turned to a situation where we're not pulling back, and I'm not going to reload NEO, and I get a chance to maybe hold on to the Rivian long. And we'll see what happens with these futures if that potential sell imbalance or whatever it might be comes into play into a bouncing market. And for those of you that were watching Tesla, well, if you bought the dip at 850, I thought 840 was a more significant level. It got to 857. You're $10 in the money. But we're still 9% down on Tesla. Perspective is everything.
Oh, man. Yeah, what's up, Mike Crehan there? You're adding me for something. I don't know what it is.
Because you joked about...
What? About what, though?
You said don't at me, so everyone's probably going to at you.
Oh, everyone's adding me
I have
for
no
that.
idea. I'm making
okay,
that
well,
up.
then that's awesome. Okay, so, yeah, basically right now, you want to see an awesome trade for me, and I don't know, like I just went over to something. Neil was talking all about Rivian. First of all, how about that call on AMD, man? That's at 93.50 right now and ripping. So is Palantir. We're starting to get back to the high of the day for me net-wise here, so pretty happy with that. Look where Lucid is now, man. 30 cents now in the money on this trade. So there it is. Good little risk to reward for me on this name as we continue to climb up. And obviously we still have shares on for this one as, we'll take it, baby. We'll see if we can get back to VWAP 1890 or something right there. Ooh, and on that note, whoopsies. Woo, I almost made a crazy, oh no, did I have my number lock? I almost made a crazy keystroke.
Oh, I hate
something's
when that happens.
messing up here. I'm gonna have to figure this out. My keyboard's all messed up. But Palantir, I can't even type in the numbers to get out here. But Palantir up to 10.09 right now, so 9 cents in the money on this name. Let's take a piece out, but I got to figure out what the heck's going on with my keyboard.
Yeah, I just got the target on Rivian. I mean, I talked about 30-40 off of that bottom. We'd be happy if we got it. We got it. So I'm going to be out of that one. And oddly enough, it gets weird. Like NEO, I would have expected after that little bounce to the upside, where I'm almost flat. I mean, imbalances are coming in 9 minutes, right?
Yeah,
so
watch out.
I don't mind getting flat here. NEO is still trying to get through our entry point right in that quarters. If it pops through 30, I'll just take it off. I was thinking about a reload at that price. I don't think I want to do that here. I mean, ultimately, sometimes the best position is flat. And I kind of feel like going into this imbalance, unless I want to make a trade sort of based on where we're sitting in the overall market or something like that, then I don't really want to necessarily be fighting anything. So I take out the long, it's fine, I hit target, but I'm not going to fight that short. If we had continued to rise in volatility and do the opposite of yesterday, then I was holding that NEO into and possibly through the low of the day. But you know what? We made a bounce. What I was looking for to happen yesterday, shorting things to the top, might have just happened here. To the upside. But if we don't go any further, I'm not going to press the issue here. I'd be happy with the bounce that we did get, even if it's not the one that we want.
Yeah, that's true. And that's what I'm doing right now with a lot of these names, is just trying to say, you know what, let's just get the heck out of here, because if they're going to fade out for the rest of the day, fine, we'll take some profits, and that's included right now as we're trying to take dime here on pound. I'm trying to get 09s right now. We've gotten just some 08s. It just looks crazy, but we're long at 10, so we're going to do that. We took one more out, so now we only have 20% left in Lucid. So I just took that out there. Our best out was 66. It came back in. I took a 62 there, and now now we only have 10% actually. Okay, because we got the reload there. So yeah, all right. So we got the 2 outs right there. I guess I didn't realize I had 2 bids, 2 offers there. So 58 and then 59 and then a 66. And these are all off these little bottoms. So again, good little trade there for me on Lucid as we get ready to watch these imbalances. And here they are right here. And this is what we'll look at. And obviously you're seeing the time 9:30. So these are not active holds or anything like that right now. What we're looking for is market on close orders at 350. They will all come in. And what that means is that someone's looking for liquidity. So if you want to sell 2 million shares of Apple, all you simply do is put a market on close order in there, and then you give other market participants 10 minutes to offset that. So if you have 1 million shares to sell, Neil and I may be looking to buy 1 million shares or something like that.
Probably not.
So you put, yeah, probably not. I'm looking for more about 1.5 million. So I'm going to put in there, I'm going to put that order into the mock, and what's going to wind up happening is it's then going to offset. So all of a sudden there's 1 million shares of sell volume coming into the close. If someone then buys that million, then that pressure is relieved, right? So the mock is really all about supply and demand. So when it starts to come out here at 350, there'll be a rocket number. I don't know if Prad can post the number that's on Financial Juice or Brendan or somebody right now, but 313. Okay, so this is what Prad yells 313 million. So I'm going to assume.
What is that?
Yeah, it's 313 million shares, dollar value to sell. So in a day like today, we're actually, I think that's a nothing burger because with the market down 5.5%, I'd expect there to be billions in order for it to really have an effect. So for me, if that's going to be the early look, then it's going to be a nothing. If it does change, we'll get back to you guys on that one.
Yeah, exactly. You are seeing the market sort of try, like it is making a valiant effort here off of the bottom, but it's worth putting it in context. Like it's not that great.
No.
Like we're at 4%. This is just a SPY. I know we've been talking about the NASDAQ a lot, but the SPY just bouncing a couple of dollars here.
Yeah, we only have one
about
more.
5 minutes to go, but.
Yeah, are you in position? Oh, you're flat. So, okay, so here, let me just discuss one more position that I'm in case people are rolling with me. eBay today off the sticky note, man. We wanted the short. I can't believe that it was like they lost 13% of their buyers or purchasers and sellers. I don't know if it was a combination actually, but anyways, their use of their app and all that down 13%. That's not going to be good, man, especially, they already had that spin-off, PayPal was with eBay, right? And so that's happened a long time ago. I believe that was Uncle Carl helped with that spin-off. But okay, right now, just looking as the market goes up, what I wanted to talk about here was 48. So if we break back down through 48, we're going to be out of this one. So here comes right now. I'm actually glad we're talking about this. So you'll see me market. It won't be a market. It'll be a limit up, 10 cents up. Well, there's lots of liquidity. So this is how I trade. I look, we're short here. We held this for a while, and now we're going to get it out. It's a small piece, but we'll still take it out, man. It's a good trade for me. This trade alone, this one piece that I'm holding is going to equate to about 7% of my net. So when I get out, we'll be adding, so if I'm up, let's just say $500 today, then this trade would be $35 worth of a win or something like that, right? So that's what I'm talking about. So we're going to hold that. So money's still money. Hopefully it comes back down and we can make that a little bit bigger, but we're going to get out if it cracks through 48 right now as the imbalance is probably getting a little juicier. The NASDAQ, again, you guys can let us know too if you see it. Someone said, I don't know if you were here or not, but that it's on Thinkorswim. The imbalances. It could be.
Well, so essentially where it comes
from, if anybody
right,
has that platform.
Like they still have like the handheld system on the NYSE floor.
Right.
So what'll happen is as imbalance orders come in to the handhelds on the floor brokers, right? Like if you can get a sort of like an early read of some of those numbers that come through, you add it up and total it. So there's probably a lot of sources out there that have sort of access to that, and you probably pay for it on a lot of different platforms. I don't know if Thinkorswim has it. I mean, to be honest with you, I've never heard that. I almost just knocked the bull over with my elbow. I should just knock the bull over with my elbow at this point.
See, this is the problem. Look, Eric S. not on Thinkorswim.
It's not? See, like,
No, you're not yet. What? Go down 2 more. Yes, it's on Thinkorswim from somebody else.
Well,
so that's not the problem, but a lot of the time, see, all good here. on Thinkorswim. So yeah, I guess, guys, maybe you could help out our fellow viewers there. I've never used Thinkorswim. I've seen the platform, but never physically used it. So if you guys have,
and I don't want to get into that game.
Just help these guys out. That's all.
I don't want to get into the game of trying to oh yeah, we know something that we really don't. We'll let you guys know when
if you're on the Day Trade the World,
my wheelhouse, man. We trade here, Day Trade the World.
Yeah, if you're on the P Pro 8 platform, then there is a little icon that says it on your toolbar. Yeah. So you can look that up.
Tesla.
And, we are getting close. Yeah. How low is Tesla right now?
So it bounced all the way to 870, and now it's coming right back into these lows. And it's Tesla that I've chosen to watch here because, heck, it's such an incredible move on Tesla. How could I ignore it? Down, that's 9%, but it's the value of Tesla, and it's in balance, relatively speaking. Its notional sometimes can be big, but you're not going to see $1 million imbalance on Tesla because it's such an expensive stock. 100,000 is a big imbalance on Tesla. If I saw 100,000 or 150, that would be pretty significant. But we got about 2 minutes to go before they even come out.
That's funny. Sose, what's up, Sose there? He says he can barely think, let alone think and swim. So that's a good one there. But that is, I think it used to be
I could barely swim, man.
TD Ameritrade. I love swimming, man. We had a pool. I love it. My kids are down with it.
Well, I know. I know you had a pool, Sean.
Yeah, I know you know that.
And I may or may not have gotten to swim in it when you guys were on vacation.
Yeah, you may have gotten to swim in that lots of times. Okay. Yeah, next time I'm putting piranhas. I should have put something in the water, knowing that you guys would be there. These guys hopping my fence and stuff. My mom's messaging me oh yeah, they had burgers and all this stuff.
No word of a lie. So we hopped the fence.
Are we leaving doors open again?
No,
what is this?
And by the way, Debs, she's the best. And everybody knows this.
Yeah.
Leaving the back door. You shouldn't do this. Leaving the back door open for the high school buddies when they're on vacay.
Yeah, that's never a good move.
And then burgers in the fridge that we could fire up if we wanted to. How chill is that? Seriously.
I don't even know why.
And it's probably not the right thing to do in B-Dot, but hey,
all right,
got away with it. Here we go.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get ready to rock and roll right now, man. The imbalances are coming out right now. So we still have Tesla on board. Let's just watch Apple because Apple's been the mover here on imbalances. So come over to my screen, please, Mr. Fahad, and then we will watch and see what Apple's going to do right now. So we have the minute chart up right now. We have the futures. So look when the imbalances are going to come out. We're down 5.85%. Apple down 6.5%. Let's see what goes right now. Are we going to go up? Are we going to go down? Only time will tell on that one. So here we go. Ready to rock and roll right now. Apple coming out in 10 seconds right now. The market is heading southbound again. So let's watch out to see what happens here with only 2 and 1. Ding, ding, ding. The market is now ready to rock and roll. And actually, I don't see that much on here, to be honest with you. It's a big move to the upside in the market. So hello. And like I was going to say, I don't see much on here. TLT is there. Apple's a bid. So there's Apple bid. Look at Apple move. Apple 155 to 156. Straight up $1 Apple, guys. There's the imbalances. Heidi ho, Ranger Joe. The market is upside right now. Yeah. Palantir's blowing up. Lucid's blowing up. Finally, mamma mia.
Did you see TLT?
That's what I say. TLT's on there as well. Nice big move. So here they come to save the day. Uncle Jerome put a big mock in there, and now it's a buy. So here we go. Nice upside move. Look at the market. Killer move right there, about 1%. So if you guys, and this is another thing, you're watching our show, welcome. My name's Sean. This is Neil. That's Brendan. That's Valeria. And we're bringing you the good. Because right there, the market just rallied $1 or 1%, and we gave that to you. So there it is.
Yeah, what a nice little bounce. I was watching Tesla to see if there weren't actually any individual things that had a huge imbalance, with the exception of, and you don't see this very often. I saw TLT, I saw Qs there, and then we saw, like you said, Apple, but there was really nothing else. Did I just see the Qs on 600,000? Which is absolutely nothing.
eBay will ring the Reggie.
Now flat on the day, obviously, but no positions is what I kind of mean by that. But everything I was looking at had a nice bounce there, whether it was like Rivian from earlier, which has shown weird strength, I want to say. That's bouncing off those lows. As I mentioned, Tesla showing a lot of strength, but only up at 870. And you got to keep out, what I want to see right now is what bounced a little bit and what bounced a lot. So I just noticed the bounce in Rivian weirdly stronger than something like a Tesla. The bounce in NVIDIA just now, okay into 189, not even at VWAP. And I'm going to throw over to AMD, about the same thing. So it's, some of these names had good, strong moves. Some of them had solid. Some of them barely went anywhere. I kind of feel like Tesla was a very, very minute bounce. So it was a good relief. But but I'm not sure we're out of the water yet. But that's what can happen right there at 350 when it comes out. 55, we'll get an update, and that'll tell us where the direction will be for the rest of the day if it wants to pair off even further. I'm trying to find something that actually broke out, but I didn't really. Is that a thing? Broke out stronger?
Yeah. You know, we'll just hit this one last time for the day. Because finally, I mean, look, I think over the last little while, it always works itself out. Like, you know, sometimes I'll hold on to something and then that imbalance will come the wrong way. Sometimes it comes the right way. We're lucky enough today to have that come the right way for us, putting us nicely in the money here. And we're starting to cash some out. Whoa, we're starting to let's just get some out here. If we can get 12s. Did we just get those fills? No, we did not. We're going to try to get some 12s on Palantir. Hopefully we can get that, and then we'll be out of there. But we just took out some of these trades here on Palantir, including right there, 13s, 11s. We just got 12s there. There's a bunch of fills. So we're out there now at 12, putting us flat on Palantir. And look.
You know what bounced strong?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say something that actually bounced stronger than some of these other names. Eli Lilly. So maybe some quality names. That got through VWAP. I like the strength.
We'll check the imbalances again.
I like the strength there. And yeah, there's nothing on the imbalances. I mean.
What? Palantir's a sell?
BAC is a buy. DD is a buy of 1 million shares. DD.
Come to me, Mr. Fahad. There we go. Yeah, DD's a buy. And look at this, man. Palantir's a sell. And it still went up. Like, if that was a bid, we would have really probably gone crazy right there. So, nice little sell there. I don't see anything else that's of significance. I mean, there's WFC, but now you're sub-million. I mean, there's Apple with the bid. We saw what that did to AAPL there, man. Look at that, one candle. So if you ever want to roll the dice, that's 155 up to 157 there. $2 straight up in a candle. One candle, $2 straight to the north side there on Apple. So congratulations, anybody that was able to predict and have that crystal ball. You take advantage of these imbalances. But hey, that's what that is. We are now out of Palantir at 12. And then our Lucid is the only trade that we have left. And that's a monster, man, all the way to the upside. We're pretty happy with that. Just bounced off VWAP there. Look at this. This is where we're long Lucid. Today was a good day, man, a good afternoon for us. Like I said, we made more money today than we lost yesterday, so that's good because it's all about net over net, right, when you're trading. So there it is, a nice move. I didn't even realize Lucid went to 1890 there, but let's just take a piece out. Earnings after market. 5 minutes right now. These imbalances actually, Neil, let's just stay here
nothing really.
They will flip right now.
We'll see, but they're also small right now. That I don't know.
Softy just showed up there as a big sell as well. So someone put that sell in. Here we go, 2 and 1. Another update happens normally at 55. So Microsoft was just a big sell. I don't even see it there anymore. Palantir, the largest sell. And look, Apple was a buy, turned into a sell. So maybe the market does sell off a little bit here into the close.
DD somehow stayed a buy. You know, DD's only down 4% today. Which was a bit surprising to me, but we get a bunch of earnings after market
I'm at a Lucid,
today.
by the way, right there,
so
guys.
I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about those earnings now, Brendan.
Let's go.
Yes?
Brendo? Hello?
Yes. Okay, yes, a ton, including Lucid on the board today, guys. Here we go. Look at what is to come as far as earnings are concerned.
Righty then.
There you go. Yeah, DraftKings, Lucid. We talked about all these, Fubo, but really Block. That's one I think we maybe didn't mention in the afternoon show, a big one. Maybe the biggest, well, I shouldn't say that, but Block will definitely be one that we're going to pay attention to because they've been so beaten up and sort of retesting some very, very key levels around that 90, 100 is a big level as well. So, you know, you got to stick to what's working. Obviously, we're not going anywhere trading the bigger EV names. Am I going to be watching Tesla? Of course I'm going to be looking at Tesla to trade. I'm going to be looking to trade Rivian again? Of course I am, but Lucid gets added to that list. Traded it yesterday, not today, but you got to make sure you trade what is a mover. It felt like so many of the earnings catalysts this morning, you wanted them all. And that's just the truth of it because there was like 4 or 5 of these heavily beaten up I guess pandemic winners, whatever you want to call them, your Etsy's of the world, and et cetera. And every single one of them that had a short setup, they were all very similar, and they all basically did the same thing and then flushed. So I don't want to leave any stone unturned when it comes to looking at some of these earning plays tomorrow morning.
No, and that's that. We'll just do this because, you know what? I mean, it sucks today, but, you know, I feel better today than I did yesterday shorting that rip. Today we took advantage of it, and there it is. Lucid, we just got out right at VWAP right there, 88 or whatever it was. Out there, Lucid. Good little trade there. And then just an update on, let's just see what, let's see where eBay went. So flat. So eBay, we got out at 48. It only went to 48.20. But right there, man, wow, I am exhausted here today. Over 300 fills 250 fills today. So a lot of trading for your boy. And yeah, it's been a wild, wild ride. Looking forward to watching some NBA tonight. We'll chill out. We've got my daughter is a competitive gymnast, 7 years old. Anyways, she's getting ready to train up today as well, so we got to drop her off, then karate for my dude, and then yeah, it should be a nice little relaxing evening coming through. So yeah, I hope everyone had a good time, man. Spend lots of time with family, enjoy the weather. It's finally starting to turn. I invite you, Greg, Brendan, and I golfing tomorrow. I know that's not
I can't do it.
up your
alley. You know what's
alley,
weird? I actually had I had the same conversation.
I'm gonna find out the weather right now.
Justin was asking why I don't play baseball anymore, and I had to tell him the story, which is, it is what it is. My daughter also has gymnastics on Thursday. So
oh, good, yeah.
Yeah, it's gymnastics time. So that's always, it's actually more fun than you think. It's weird. Like when you do sports yourself,
13 degrees
and you think,
tomorrow.
yeah, I'm gonna hate it when I can only watch my kid do stuff, but it's actually more fun in a lot of ways. I'm kind of watching Didi here. Nothing's really happening. I'm just sort of shocked by how little it fell today. But it does have a small buy-in balance. That's now gone, so nothing's going to happen.
No NBA tonight.
There's how are there 0 games? No, there's not 0
What's
games.
my FanDuel going to do?
There's 0 games tonight?
What about Parlay Pratt? He's not going to be able to put anything on.
He just bet on
NBA
hockey.
games. I know. Parlay Pratt is upset over there. Yeah, hockey. Although there's sports. Don't worry about that. There's baseball. There's
apparently just bet on the Milwaukee Brewers, according to Dominic, because
bet on Rowdy Tellez to get like more than 2 RBIs or something.
Dude, he had 8 ribbies. He hit 2 bombs. I started him for the first time all season in my fantasy league.
Dominic's
he's on my bench because Dominic keeps talking about him, and the guy goes off for like 2 bombs and 8 ribbies. Thank you, Dominic.
Yeah, Dominic knows all about Rowdy Tellez right now. I did buy some Google. I told you during the show I got the alert, so hopefully, I don't know where I bought it, but it's nice that it's starting to go back up again. I like this name, and I think that we talked about dollar cost averaging. I think there's a couple names, and if you watch the show, you probably know which names I like. But here we go into the close with only a few minutes left. This is what the imbalances are looking like right now. Still the same. They're not super exciting right here. Nothing worth $1 million. Intel sell, Palantir sell, AMD sell. They're all just going to get paired off. It's a big move to the upside here with only now 20 seconds to go. Valeria's getting excited here.
Valeria was doing the whole twirl the bell thing
and
accidentally hit it. So if you heard a little something, that's what it was. But she's in the green. Not that we're in the green, but hey, any bounce is a good bounce. The countdown is on in 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. You know what to do in 2. Ring it.
1. Whoops. Ooh. My Palantir stop order was not canceled, so I just made sure to cancel that. Obviously not necessary there. Oh, look, let me just show you what happens at the end of the day. Look at all these bids stack here on Palantir, right? So, you get all these stacked bids happening. There's the big print at the end of the day, 1.6 million shares. So Neil saw a 60,000 share print on Tesla in the middle of the day, which is very rare. But there's a big print, so you guys can see that 1.6 million shares there on Palantir done at 10.12. So that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. If you want to know why orders are put into the mock, that's why. You cannot get filled for 1.6 million shares in the open market at a fair price. You cannot. Right? So that's the one. I mean, you can put a bid out and maybe get run over. That's fine. But if you want a fair market price where buyers and sellers know what the deal is, that's where you get it. And congratulations here who's managing Palantir, because you got that off at where it closed. So a good trade there. Brendan, I hate asking you on these days, but hey, it's a formality. How did we finish?
Yeah, let's make it official, guys. Here's a look at how the day wrapped up. Very, very, if you didn't know, red right across the board. 5%. We did get back below it just, but the NASDAQ leading the way, almost 4 for the Dow, 3.5 for the S&P. Pretty ugly right across the board. Look at Bitcoin down 8.9%, guys, on the day. Ugly.
We talked about how Bitcoin's been really stable in and around that $40,000 mark. Anymore. But today, well, you know what? So we're like, oh my God, Bitcoin went down 8%, Amazon went down 8%, Tesla went down 8%. PayPal,
well, you saw the quote board.
NVIDIA. No, I'm just saying, even though that's a big move for Bitcoin, I kind of feel like if you still believe in it, today's move was just another reason to get up there.
I got 30 names on my quote board.
ARK fell, by the way.
30 names that are 8% or more.
Yeah, exactly.
On my board.
Just in today, 3rd largest drop in history for ARC, down 9.5% today, Brendan. So, yeah, a big move down. Your trade of the day was Tesla, which was long, actually. Well, you had both.
I had a short to begin with, but it's the long that we talked about.
Yeah, that was the moneymaker there. And then now you look back and it's like, okay, no longs for that one. But we had a lot of great trades today, man. I mean, today was such a better day for me than yesterday. It's unbelievable. I want to give a big shout out to Maggie, to Mark, especially Mark. We've had a lot of issues there with, you guys saw, Arun got cut off, and we had actually a great opportunity there on our guest of the day here in the afternoon. Katie Stockton there, and it worked out well. So, that's great. Thank you for all that. I know Maggie's been pulling her hair out, trying to figure out with all these guests, so thank you to that. Thank you to Fahad.
She'll look like me soon.
Pretty soon, yeah. Don't pull out that much. But thanks to Fahad, who's doing it by himself right now, the switching. So, and a big shout out to Randy, who every once in a while helps, but Randy
what
helping
happened to
is
Randy, man?
Yeah.
The weather gets nice. He puts the jorts on, and then by lunchtime, he gone.
Yeah, I was like, Randy, oh, by the way, we just lost power. And like a couple minutes later,
he's a guy strolling in. He's got the coffee in his hand.
Yeah, but there it is.
What's up?
Just having fun with Randy. But anyways, big shout out to everybody. Thanks, Brendan. A lot of news today.
I think he's gone.
Randy's gone already?
I think he's
There
gone.
you go. He went to go fill up more diesel in his truck maybe there. Take advantage of those great diesel prices. Diesel up 75% this year. Crazy. Ms. V, I saw you're positive on Tesla. I don't know why. We got to go talk to you a little bit more about that, but thank you for, and someone asked today, it was like, how good Ms. V's gotten on her trading, and they said, was it because she focused on one or two names? I think with nodding now, that's probably right. I mean, I would say Tesla is pretty much the only stock that you trade. Yeah, so there you go. Yeah. So I think that's good advice. All right, from everybody here, no NBA, lots of sports tonight, but sleep well. The market's going to open tomorrow, and we'll see what happens. From everybody here at Trader TV Live, we'll catch you tomorrow at 8:30. Have a great evening.